Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and gentlemen, ladies. Was that a little loud? I saw everybody like, wake up. I'm your hostess with the mostest here, Alexander Rodriguez, for On the Rocks radio show, where celebrities and cocktails mix. Tonight, we celebrate acting, music, and mayhem with our guest, actor Jake Busey. We love him from Ray Donovan, from Dusk Till Dawn, the series, Starship Troopers, the new Predator film. Ooh, and I got news about that. And my personal favorite, The Frighteners. That was my date last Friday, but it's also one of my favorite movies. Also, we have actress Erika Ervin from American Horror Story, international pop diva Z Lala is here. So good, you need another Lala. So Z Lala and my guest co-host, singer-songwriter Scott Cruz. Let the fun begin.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you from Sunset Gower Studios in the heart of Hollywood, where I drink with your favorite celebrities and we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and that's about it. So pop a cork, pour a glass, lean back, and enjoy On the Rocks every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
There we go with that applause.
Where's that audience coming from?
Yes.
Where are they?
It's Sunset Gower Studios. The applause is
They're
from
outside.
our dearly departed here, right? You guys, I'm so excited for today's show. If you're looking for a great personality, you've come to the right place because we have many. I have many just by myself.
Just by himself.
Yes. I spent all of Thanksgiving in my pajamas, no suit, no cookie, no working, just football.
No cookie?
Cooking.
Oh, okay.
No, I had cookies. I had plenty of cookies.
Where's your cookie?
Yeah, cookie.
We don't want to see your cookie.
How dare you, sir? My cookies are moist and delicious. Also, football, believe it or not, football, and my Hallmark Christmas movies every year. So Hallmark is really bumping it up. The last one I saw, it was titled My Sad Christmas Until Santa Came to Slay or something like that. That's not really the title. It's just funny. Thank you. Mr.
Hey!
Jake Busey got
God,
it. There
funny.
we go. I have
That was
one.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
The laugh track.
Yes. the laugh track. But this last Hallmark movie had Danny Glover, Dermot Mulroney, and my favorite, Joan Cusack. So they are bringing their A game in terms of actors. But every Hallmark movie is about one of three things. First, it's either a character who wants a different way of life and wakes up the next morning and they're like in this whole different life and they're like, oh God. And they realize that their first way of life was much better, blah, 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 barf. Or it's a woman who leads a busy city career and she has to go back to her hometown and then she falls in love with like the local guy that she met in high school and he's like a carpenter or a mechanic.
So they're no longer the scorned woman anymore? They kind of
well, no, but it's like,
that?
this high-level woman realizes that the happiness was in this quiet
The
little town.
hometown.
Yes,
Okay.
and she doesn't
They
need to date
changed.
the executive. She needs to date the mechanic. It's like a
Interesting.
porn. Or the third story is it's always somebody from royalty that is trying to date somebody from the common folk, and it's about that, but they use the same sets, they use the same extras.
We already had
and they
Coming
use the
to
same-
America.
Yes. Well,
We
you were
don't need another
actually
one.
in Coming to America.
I wasn't going to America.
You guys rent Coming to America, and in the scene in that McDonald's place,
Yeah, McDowell's.
yeah.
McDowell's.
Yeah.
Our own Scott Cruz is in it.
No
with
The
way.
your,
little boy,
No
little
way.
bowl haircut.
It's a
I'm
bowl.
sitting
So
next to a
six
movie
years-
star.
Oh,
6 years
please,
ago.
Jake Busey.
Oh, come on,
Holy
Jake
shit.
Busey. Really, Jake Busey? Yeah.
Wow.
A little 5-minute segment.
You can get his autograph later, Jake.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Hold
I got
yourself.
my pen ready.
Hold yourself. Hey, you want the iPad pen?
Yes.
Digital. It's
No,
all
but
digital
literally,
now.
you have the bowl haircut. It's like a Tupperware bowl.
I actually had
It's
hair.
bad.
I mean, the fact that hair is a big
Wow.
thing too.
Aw.
He had hair.
Yeah.
He didn't come out like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sadness. But Jake, if you ever do a Hallmark movie, I want there to be lots and lots of blood. Like
Please.
just, like blood and like
I'm ready,
creatures.
man. I'm ready. Just bring your knives. Yeah. We'll make some blood.
It is so funny having you in studio because I have been such a huge fan,
Really?
watching everything that you do. So just to see you and like you are how you are on screen, it's just crazy to me.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
I'm sitting here in a flannel shirt. I'm dressed like the carpenter in your Hallmark films you talk about.
You're auditioning already.
There
Hey, we're
you
at
go.
Sunset Gower Studios.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. No.
I feel like I've gone back to the 40s right now. I'm telling you what. This is good stuff.
True, I could see that.
Yeah.
Right? My fireside chats here.
Get a good
Yes.
vision.
I love it. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Universal Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, and now we're streaming on YouTube somewhere. And of course, we are on Facebook Live and Hillcrest Social in San Diego, True FM in Ohio. Who knew Ohio? And nationally everywhere on Reverie Network and Bear World Magazine. Roar. Check out Bear World Magazine. Jake, you don't know what Bear World Magazine is.
I just, you know,
It's more
doesn't
for
want to.
my
I've got an
people.
imagination. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You would be a wolf in
Would I?
the bear world. Rawr.
Rawr.
Yeah, you are.
You know, there was a director of a film that I did, and years after we did the film, he let me know he was a bear. Very proud.
How did he let you know? Is
With
that
a-
another harassment thing?
With a Hawaiian lay at
So you got laid by
Oh,
a
that's bear. That's a
at
bear.
a street party
You
in,
got laid
in
by a bear.
Toronto.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a bear. Here's a lay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
No, it was
so-
good times. It was good times.
Sounds it.
There's a
Oh,
chapter
Malcolm.
in your upcoming book about that. And if you haven't started writing it, you're going to start writing it tonight. You're going to be like chapter 1, a bear.
Hell yeah.
Olay.
Olay.
Malcolm the bear.
Yes. Anyway, check out my weekly interviews, movie reviews, and movie news Mondays, which has become very popular because it's my movie news, the way that I tell it. This week I talked about The Greatest Show, or The Greatest Showman or something. It's the new musical with Hugh Jackman.
Huge what?
No. Huge Ego is more like it. Huge Ego Jackman. Zac Efron is in it because we need to see him in another musical.
Oh, we do, yeah.
But it looks like the poor man's Moulin Rouge. Have you guys seen the ads for this? They
haven't.
just started promoting it, which makes me nervous because it opens on the 20th. They should have been promoting this for a long time, like releasing some of the songs, some of the videos, and they haven't, which means it's going to be awful. And I'm going to be front row and center. I didn't even think. Oh, and it's by and you would love this, Z-Lala. It's by the writers who wrote La La Land.
Oh.
But I was not a big fan of La La Land.
Yeah.
I'm like the only like gay man in L.A. that didn't love La La Land. Number one, they wrote the songs with like 3 notes going either way because their singers can't sing. So it was like la 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 la. There we go, Academy Award.
Is anybody familiar with La La Land? Why am I not?
I didn't mind La La Land. It wasn't my favorite movie, but it also wasn't my least favorite. It was just sort of like
It's so neutral, but that could be worse.
Very
If it's neutral, that could be actually worse. You know what I mean?
See what you mean?
Mediocre.
I mean,
could
you
be-
want to be wowed by a musical. I've never was
Right.
really a musical guy. No
Right.
offense. It's just not my.
Well, but
my
music has
thing.
been a big part of your growing up too.
Huge,
but
but just never the mixture.
Music, not
Yeah.
like music.
Yeah, angry music.
I like angry
Yes.
music.
Sort of angry isolationist
Yeah.
music.
What
yeah.
fun?
Slicing wrists.
Yeah, very fun.
Bring your knives for that
I think
too.
they call
Yeah.
that speed metal.
Yeah, speed metal, right? Nothing says romance like heavy metal. There we go. Thank you, Erika Ervin, bringing up America.
It's all that kind of stuff, right?
This show, who knows what's going to happen?
It's already going off the wall now.
But I also talk about the early screenings for the Predator film coming August 2018. So the audiences have been split down the middle because younger audiences love it because it's bringing this comedy to the genre, which you're going to kind of give us that. But the hardcore fans are like, wait a minute, this isn't my Predator. It's called a reboot, sweeties. But in any case, audiences are roaring and making noise. So we're very, very excited. And of course, one of our guests today is in Predator.
Maybe so.
The Predator. Not that you're the Predator, but the movie's called The Predator. I'm so excited.
You got to be careful now with the term predator.
I could be predator
know.
at times.
Yep.
He's
well, you don't want
Are
to go
you
that far.
a predator or the predator?
Yeah.
right, because
Not
you got to be
sexually.
careful now in Hollywood with the
I'm
word
predator.
predator.
A.
Yeah, I'm Predator adjacent. For our audio listeners, you can check out the video stream on Facebook, and now the Hillcrest social app has all of our videos, all the boomerangs we do, all the videos is there. Download the app on iPhone and Android today. They give away concert giveaways and product giveaways and tons of stuff, so check it out. Coming up, we have Luis Fernandez from the Dynasty reboot, currently on TV. He's in next week to talk about his big turn on that. Golden Globe winner and 3-time Emmy nominee Joanna Cassidy is coming back. And she's not just coming back for part 2 of her career, because we talked for 2 hours about her career. She's coming back to drink with us. She is coming on for a celebrity liquor tasting for the holidays. So she's coming in. We have singers Matt Boyd and Mario Jose are coming in with some holiday music. Adrienne Barbeau is coming in to talk about her horror film career and acting with the divine. And Scott, you would love this. B. Arthur. I forgot that Adrienne Barbeau was in Maude. You guys
that's
are all
right.
too young for this. You know,
No.
you never watched Maude.
Of course I've watched Maude. Are you serious right now? with
Yeah,
this?
nobody's watched
you,
Maude.
You're getting personal with me now.
Oh, God.
Of course I've seen Maude.
All right.
No, excuse me, Maude.
Maude.
They remember the whole abortion
say
thing?
mauve or
like
mauve?
they really pushed the boundaries on that show. Like they with the whole abortion thing, and I mean they really.
It was a
went
really
far.
funny sitcom.
It was, but they actually got very political on it too. I mean, so
Well, because it was because it was a spin-off of All in the Family with Archie Bunker. Wasn't it was a spin-off, right?
Yeah,
Kinda,
it was a
kinda.
spinoff
Yeah.
of a spinoff, I think.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. All in the Family had so many spin-offs. My mom, Mama Rose, is in the chat room on ubnradio.com and Facebook Live. She's answering your questions. She has done research on our guest, Jake. She's a little smitten.
Oh.
She does like you with longer hair, though. Oh my God!
Whoa! Oh, no!
Okay, so I'm not even kidding you.
Don't insult me.
That was a scene from Jake Busey in The Frighteners.
I'm gonna have to rewatch
Wow,
that.
yeah, we just ripped down the posters
Yes.
here.
That was my mom's spirit. No, but we do have celebrity psychic Scott Cruz here. And so was that somebody saying something?
What? No, it's just shit like that happens sometimes.
God,
it doesn't
you're no
always
fun.
mean that. Don't
You're the
like,
most boring
Yes.
celebrity psychic
Yes.
I've ever hung out
It's
with.
Lucille Ball visiting from the other side.
See,
she has
I
a problem
want that.
She's got a problem with your humor.
No, she do not.
See?
She loves it
He's
because
in,
my hair is like
he's in
this.
denial.
All right, let's
Yeah.
put that to rest.
Poor Jacob's like, I have to be on set tomorrow. I can't die today. Anyway, my mom, Mama Rose, is in the chat room. She's done her research. Keep her busy. She will answer your questions. If it's a burning question, she will let me know, and we will answer it here live. Hello to our engineer, Chris. Keeping it real. Chris, what is up? Oh my God, you're the most low-key person I've ever had
I
working
love
on
Chris.
this show.
And he's
He
He's
keeps it. Oh, did you hear that?
I did.
Z Lala said you were cute. You know that he has
Hey.
a thing for
Lalas.
for lalas. I'm not even kidding you.
He usually walks around going
do you
la
see
la.
that?
No, I see it.
What
It's
do you
in,
see?
it's in my vision.
Yes. I'm singing at the wedding, that's all I know. And Jake Busey's the officiant. And
be
Erica
there.
is the bridesmaid.
That would be
it's
better
all
than
good.
the usual Chihuahua humping a Great Dane.
I hope you do too.
Yes. Oh God, you
Catch
guys.
up on that,
Yeah.
gentlemen, please.
Oh no!
It took me a minute to absorb
Yes.
that one.
Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks, on air, on the web, ontherocksradioshow.com. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, quinceanera, bris, funeral. I don't care. I will be there. Info at On The Rocks Radio Show. And On The Rocks is coming to you December 3rd. On The Rocks will be on hand for Sanctuary Palm Springs Holiday Gala. Sanctuary is the LGBT foster home in Palm Springs, and I will be there with Golden Globe winner Joanna Cassidy. We'll be having a few laughs, having a few drinks, raising money. And she had a great time on the show. I just said that she's coming back. Broadway singer Julie Garnier will be performing, and our very own guest today, Erika Ervin, will be doing the live auction.
Yes.
And it's Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. at Spencer's Bougainvillea. I've never known how to say Bougainvillea.
Bougainvillea?
You mean the flower?
Yes.
That sounds right.
It's
a beautiful place.
Bougainvillea.
No, that's a
Bougainvillea.
white person saying that. That's not how you're
Wait,
supposed
wait, hold
to
on.
say
He
it.
said it right. Hold on, he said
It's
it right.
Bougainvillea. No, it's
Yeah, there you go.
Say, Jay.
Bougainvillea. What? Yeah. No, it's Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea.
Bougainvillea.
Bougainvillea. Is that really how it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That sounds
You
so
s- you
boring.
sound like
I've
you're
been saying it
saying
wrong the whole time.
Do people still use
But
the
it's
word
really
swank?
cute on you.
Swank?
though.
Because you have your show, that's why.
Jake Busey's flirting with me. I don't know. I don't know.
Uh-oh, we got to call Kurt.
No, that
Yeah.
wasn't the word. I didn't say
No,
that word. I
no,
said swank.
Yeah, swank. Yeah, that's still a word. It's
that-
pretty swanky.
Well, I just want to make sure that's a current colloquialism.
Yes.
The
There-
place is swank. Okay.
Yes.
It-
Classic
it-
Hollywood meets current Hollywood here on
it's-
this show.
It's stack. So
Anyway, it's at Spencer's Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea.
You go. girl.
Bougainvillea.
You go.
Bougainvillea.
Was that the first gay thing you've ever said in your life?
There you go.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
There was like a little stop in there, girl.
I just wanted to get it right with you over there
Yes.
with your snap, you know,
Yeah.
and all that. It's,
I love it. Anyway, go to sanctuarypalmsprings.org to get your tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Erica, we're going to be hanging out in Palm Springs. How awesome is that? Also, the
be
first
exciting.
NFL team to officially endorse an LGBT organization is here, and On The Rocks will be on hand. The Chargers, new to LA, are sponsoring along with Venice Pride, and we're doing a viewing party on December 16th. The venue will be announced shortly. I will be there doing interviews, and I actually love football. Like, I wear the jersey. I love football. So I'm very excited, and we're working on our first ever out night at an NFL game. God help us. That should be interesting. Anyway, but the Chargers, you're playing pretty boring, and you need a new kicker. Step up your game, ladies. December 13th is opening night of the CW hit show Masters of Illusions, and they're opening up a new show in Las Vegas. On The Rocks is planning to be there. Can you imagine me in Vegas? And I'm only going for one night, by the way.
Oh my God.
So go see Masters of Illusion opening night. You'll see me somewhere.
Of course, we can imagine you in Vegas.
Yes.
We
That's
we
my
see you in
cow.
Vegas.
Yes. See me in
dude,
jail in Vegas.
I would follow you around Vegas with a camera, man.
Oh,
I
that'd be
totally
awesome.
would.
I think
we
it's
need,
illegal.
I need your
It'd
commentary.
be like the whole night.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would
and
be
him
like,
commentating on
the mighty
everything.
Rodriguez has emerged from his cocoon.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
can I be the bodyguard in that scene?
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
sure.
That would be fun.
At like, what is it? 6'8"?
Oh, I remember meeting Snoop Dogg's bodyguard. I looked him straight in the eye. He was about 7 foot, and I had heels on.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah, and he's like eyes wide.
Yes.
Eyes just like
He met his match.
exactly.
Anyway, so December 13th, if you're in Vegas or not, just come hang out with me. Come to Palm Springs, February 8th through the 12th. I'm your official host for IBC, which is International Bear Convergence. Tell your director that I'll be there. At Hard Rock Hotel, we're going to be broadcasting for 5 days straight, and I'm going to be doing shows for their TV channel. I'm very scared. All right, let me formally introduce my co-host for today. Scott Cruz is a singer-songwriter who is allergic to wearing shirts on Instagram and whose music reminds me of a mix of Queen, Adam Lambert, and Guns N' Roses. I mean, that is a combo.
That's awesome.
Literally, it sounds like... and I love it. Why are you giving me that look
I
already?
just think it's funny the way you
That's
describe me.
great.
Oh, God.
Okay, but I'll take it.
All
That's
right.
impressive.
It is. Thank you. See?
It is, but thank you.
Scott is also a celebrity clairvoyant with clients around the nation who has been featured in 2 seasons of Bravo TV's The Real Housewives of Orange County. Look for Scott's Oh Holy Night hitting the airwaves soon. And please welcome my designated driver and friendly acquaintance, Scott Cruz. Woo-hoo!
Where's that to clap track?
Oh, you don't
There
get
it
one.
is.
Okay, so Scott, I want to talk about and we've talked about this a lot, or texted about it, because I hate using the phone. But you are really going towards your music career. You're releasing a lot of great music, but you're also booked until February for your
My sessions.
medium.
Yeah, I actually had to stop the bookings because it's like I need to have more time available. So yeah, it's still busy with that. I mean, I've spent a lot of time. I mean, I've been doing music my whole life, but I was composing, and so I think now I'm ready to release my own material because I spent time producing. And
Well, your stuff is really good, but how do you split that up as an artist? And I know, Jake, you do so much. You do music as well. In fact, we have some footage of you playing the
Nice.
drums. But acting, and then you build motorcycles, and then you fly planes, and your Instagram is one of the most fun Instagrams. I get tired just looking at your Instagram.
Nice. That's good.
add
That's good.
him.
Right on.
But-
It's working.
But how do you split up that passion? And Scott, where would you say is your passion? Music or
Well, in
what
it's
you do?
they're both things I've been doing since I was a kid. So I mean, I was a clairvoyant as a kid. It was weird.
You lived in a
and-
haunted house. I talked to your mom about it.
Yeah, just told you about that.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
it
Not
was-
just haunted, but for the Frighteners.
Like
stuff
it's
happening.
like movie
Really?
shit.
Wow.
It's like poltergeist shit. Like I mean, we kept it to ourselves because like people are not going to believe us. They're gonna-
Really?
Yeah, they're going to think we're crazy.
I
so
wanna
we
hear
just
all about
we
this.
didn't say anything about it. So
There was bed shaking.
bed shaking
No
doors,
shit.
like having a basement door just like this shake like
No
this.
way.
Wow.
Not like just
Not just like the wind, but
But my
someone.
dad's a contractor, so my dad's like, there's got to be an explanation for this. So he's like, there's no explanation for this. So he's like, that's crazy. So we're Puerto Rican Italian, so my dad would just open the doors like, oh, come on in. We just got used to it, and so. And then I'll say one more instance.
Yeah,
that's really
please.
cool. My brother, woke up screaming in the middle of the night. And it was the 80s, so we had remote control cars, all those type of toys.
Right.
So he wakes up, he's like, the car is moving. So there's a car moving back and forth on his shelf
I cannot.
by itself. So my dad comes and he's like, well, there's got to be an explanation for this. So he's like, maybe the airwaves, is conflicting with the antenna, so it's making it malfunction. And so he picks up the car and the wheels are turning and there's no batteries
No
in it at
fucking
all.
battery.
No.
Batteries.
Dude, so you must have loved my
Wow.
favorite. Like that. Okay, so that was the time period, right? So when Poltergeist came out, my favorite scene in one of those movies
That was our family.
is when the dude is like they're having the initial meeting in the kitchen,
yeah.
and he says, "Ma'am, I gotta tell you."
Yeah.
We once recorded an instance where a toy car went across a kitchen floor over the span of 8 hours.
That's
And
right.
she just looks at him
That's
and goes,
right.
I think you'll like what we have.
Yeah, that's
instead."
nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. So to me, that's one of my favorite movies because we could relate to that.
Wow.
And I mean, of course, toward the end of the movie, it got very Hollywood. But like things like chairs moving, you're looking one way, you turn around, and things
No
are
shit,
rearranged.
really?
Like we've experienced a lot of that, and we would hear things upstairs. So we just thought, what do you think when you have situations like that?
Man,
What do you think?
Wow, that's never
So-
happened to me. That would freak my shit
But
out.
that's why we just said
It's
we're
funny
not
because
talking
you've
about it.
seen everything in your films. You've seen literally everything.
Oh yeah,
From creatures
yeah.
to ghosts to
People write about these things for a
vampires.
reason.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's how they get it out.
We've all got imaginations. We've all got, our things that we've seen that lead us to think of other things and build upon those like sort of fantasies and stuff. But to hear like that this stuff is like real.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
that's
scratched,
insane.
I've been burnt, I've been
No way.
pushed. We've been put. Yeah, we've had a lot of things happen. Things exploding. We've also had, and this is for time
Not,
in the
not
backyard.
your dating life. That wasn't.
We had a shut your face. We had a couple acres of property, and there was one area in the backyard where it just dipped down. And so it smelled like something was dead there.
Oh, I
so
can't.
we didn't know what it was. So my dad would refertilize it, regrass it. It always sink back down and be this dip. And always we could never repair that part of the property. Like we
It
don't
was an
understand.
ancient tribal ground.
So we did find out it was actually like the
Shut
movie.
up, I cannot.
It was, yeah.
You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
So
You moved the headstones.
that
should do
movie
the
though,
reboot,
as a kid,
Poltergeist
that
reboot
movie
was
freaked me
terrible.
out because it was
Yeah.
like bringing it to reality. Because again, we wanted to just pretend we were crazy. It was better to think we were crazy than actually to accept it was reality. Believe it or not. Oh, we're just going crazy. It's nothing.
Now, did you guys know in the original Poltergeist, right, the final scene where the skeletons come out, did you know that those were
Real
actual skeletons
skeletons.
and they didn't tell the actors that they were real? It was cheaper to get the real skeletons from like the science school than to get the props.
morgue.
And
Isn't
she didn't know that,
creepy?
yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't know that.
That seems implausible, but
No, because at the time there were not the same rules and all that. Well, it's Hollywood lore. and
I
I'm
mean,
sure
back
it's
in the
some
80s, I
stories.
mean, they gave blood transfusions without even testing for AIDS.
Not the same
Right,
rules.
true.
So
Yeah,
things
yeah,
are
yeah.
Is
so
there an etiquette
different.
to this somewhere?
No.
But you know what's interesting
Same
about your
rules.
story?
Speaking about not going dark, right?
about your story
I know,
and
we're going
reality and
dark. You
all
already
that.
had it that way.
Paul, there was something interesting about Poltergeist. There was something interesting in the reality of it, in the plausibility of it. That like the movie sort of, gently walks you into the pool. It doesn't just like throw you.
Throw you
Like
in.
as a kid, I couldn't really watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I watched Poltergeist a million times. There's something about it that as
Interesting.
horrific as it gets at the end with the skeletons and the thing in the pool and the kid and the tree, like. It was watchable for me, and I don't know why.
It was more of a psychological ride, whereas
was.
Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw was like, here it is. It's like, oh god, it was mostly about gore rather than smart.
But I also
Right.
think the cleverness about that film is that a lot of people who haven't experienced that could somewhat relate to it somehow. I don't know. A lot
Yeah.
of people could somewhat
Because
even
it
go,
was
"I
the
can relate
typical
to this."
family with the brother, the sister.
Right.
Okay. Stan Zimmerman, who sorry.
That's a great way to close.
Segue!
Great way to close. Okay.
Please.
This is why I don't have Jimmy Fallon's job. Anyway,
Okay.
Stan Zimmerman, who was the lead writer for the first year of Golden Girls, is watching the show, and he says it's the ghost of B. Arthur because we were talking about B. Arthur, and C. B. Arthur was saying hi. Stan Zimmerman, he has a show.
Oh, B, I love you.
December 4th in New York City at the Town Hall. He's doing this huge show called Right Before I Go. Ellen Burstyn is in it. A number of big stars are doing it, and Stan is the head guy. Stan is a regular on the show. So if you're in New York, go see the show. It's going to be amazing. Ellen Burstyn, by the way, is still one of my dream interviews. If she ever walked in, or Jessica Lange, if either one of them walked in, I would literally drop dead.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just
Then
sat
I'll
there
have
in
to
the makeup chair and looked to my left going, okay, is she going to notice me? She did.
Yeah. Well, we're going to play a clip from American Horror Story where you
We
guys
are?
are in the thick of it. Because it wasn't just Jessica Lange. Angela Bassett was in it. Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson, all of these big names.
Yeah, that show's amazing.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Let's not forget our fellow freaks.
Oh, I have a whole segment about them. But Scott, I wanted to finish up with you. Last night was the end of the latest season of OC Housewives, and again, your scene was played again. Are you
it
happy?
again?
Yeah. And I know you didn't really jump into the whole Bravo TV scene. Are you happy that this season is over and they stopped talking about you?
Yes. But here's the thing.
I want to be on a show like that so badly.
Here's one thing that I found weird because they're actually.
Can you move over just a little bit because I can't see Jake?
Because I'm out of
Oh, sorry.
earshot there, so maybe we both can move this way. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's weird is that I just saw an article that Megan's having a boy. Well, the scene I shot this season,
yeah.
I said that to her.
No way, and it came true.
Yeah, but they didn't show. They didn't
She
air
wasn't
that.
even pregnant yet because she's only 1 month pregnant.
So
this is so
when
gay
I-
right now. Sorry, Jake.
When I saw her again, but people watching would understand it. But when I saw her again, I said, "By the way, I said I saw
That is
yesterday
so
you're
weird.
gonna have a boy."
Because you did
She
the
goes,
very-
"Really?" And so then now she's pregnant
Oh, I
with a
wish
boy.
they would have said that.
I wish they would
because
have showed
Vicky
that.
still doesn't think you. Just for our listeners that don't follow the Bravo show, Scott years ago had a premonition about a big plot point in the show, and it was like a year and a half before we actually found out that what you said was true, and so you did it again. But I love reality TV, and I'm in a few episodes of Housewives of Beverly Hills or Shaws of Sunset for attending the
He
parties.
loves it.
You guys, I'm like the kid in the background, like this. Like I want to be on the show. I want my own show, and you just didn't want to participate in any of it.
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, you go on something like that because it's fun, but I don't think that to drag out a specific narrative for what has it been 3 seasons? I guess it's just a little to be your face constantly attached to that is something that gets a little.
Oh, poor you.
Scott and cancer, and it's just that whole thing has just got a little bit irritating. But look, it's fine. I'm not saying poor me. I'm just saying it's nice that if that comes to a close, and I know they repaired friendships, and I think that's the whole thing that they need to be doing at this point and moving on.
I still
You don't
buy it.
agree?
Now, would you guys,
Right.
would the three of you participate in a reality show? based on you, like following you around, but like they would want to edit, like it would be a Bravo TV reality show. It wouldn't be like, we're going to get deep and dark. It's going to be like, let's make you a reality show. Would you guys participate in something like that?
Ladies.
I was offered, and
Oh, I'm sure.
I was offered by a few networks, and we did a little reel just to see the feel of who would be part of it. My crazy designer Merlin, my crazy makeup artist Nolan, my crazy friends, my people. But I'm working on a few other projects right now, and I'm hoping to take that route instead of the reality. I mean, I think it's fantastic. Reality television is amazing.
Yeah.
It's there. It's available.
But it makes you look bad, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's really like.
So now you're
you
going
know,
there now.
No, no, I mean, for
I
me,
love them, but they
where am
make
I
you
going to
look
go? Like, for me, that would be fine. But their intention of having a reality show is not to make you look good and to celebrate your life.
Exactly.
It's
It's to mock
the
you.
drama.
Kind of mock you a
Exactly.
little bit.
So
Exactly.
because you're working on other events.
Yeah.
Erika, would you do a reality show?
I come from business and legal affairs. Hell no.
Well, yes.
I'll tell you why.
Your
You're
contract
right
would
in the
be like a
contract,
book,
and a big
yeah.
inch long, sometimes as short, sometimes as
Yeah.
big as 3 inches.
Yeah.
They get to fictionalize your narrative. If people
Yeah.
don't realize that and grok that, we always said, "Oh, I'm gonna get famous now. I'm gonna sign my life away so they can
That would
catch
be
me
me.
taking a poo or all
Yeah.
kinds of
Oh, no,
other
I don't say
horrible
that.
things."
She said
so
poo.
don't
No, I
do
can't.
it. No, this is a warning. No.
Cute though. You get cute. Man.
Say no to reality shows.
All
but
right.
if I did, there'd be too much liability insurance.
Well, that's also something, and I wonder who takes liability. So, Jake Busey, would you be in a reality show?
Well, there's a few different types of reality shows, and I myself am a fan of like the different type of reality show than you guys are talking about. I like the Discovery Channel, the Science
Me
Channel,
too.
History Channel.
That's
kind of my
front-
grind.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Those
in
are
fact,
actually scripted
love.
shows, but I get it.
I've
Theme
got a
shows.
sizzle reel that we're currently pitching. We were just at Discovery for like a month, going back and forth with them. Unfortunately, they said negatory. But it's a show that's really it's about a team of guys that I'm involved with. And we race off-road stuff. I just got back from racing the Baja 1000
On your Instagram, yep.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing where like Laird Hamilton sort of used it as a publicity stunt to push his new hydrate beverage that he's selling, and so he Ironmanned it. So he stayed in the car for 1,200 miles. I didn't get a chance to actually ride in the race car. I was kind of bummed about that, but I was part of the chase team, part of the support group, and support group not psychologically, but race support.
I need a few support groups.
So yeah, exactly. So this team of guys, they're actually grips behind the scenes. They shoot all the big movies like the James Bond stuff and all that, the camera cranes, and my one friend George Peters is like he's won Academy Awards for his designs of like the crane arms and stuff that are able to film the cars in movies going 100 miles an hour down the road or off road.
Right.
And so this group of guys is really unique and interesting, and the fact that their hobby or our hobby is racing 100 miles an hour off road in the desert, it makes for the personalities. It really is rife for a great reality show, but not the type that what you're talking about.
Which I love the type that you're talking about too, because it tells a story about something that we would never.
Right.
And it puts people in different situations.
Right.
Like
Scenarios.
who
Yeah.
lives like that or who does that.
Right.
And there's a whole different like band of brothers. There's a different way you guys communicate, a different way that your bro code is different than normal people's.
I have an
Right.
Did you
interesting,
just say bro code?
I did
Yeah.
because Jake Busey's
Alexander
here.
Rodriguez
I'm broing
said
it.
bro code.
We had Kurt Yeager on a couple of weeks ago from Sons of
It's
Anarchy.
rubbing off,
And
yeah.
I started talking like that.
Bro code.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in those reality shows too. I'm more into like that type of stuff and universe, that type of stuff. I think I've composed shows for like Discovery Channel.
Well, yeah,
too.
your music has been on
because
and
I was
the History
fascinated
Channel.
and like I get to compose and then also learn about this amazing stuff. That was awesome.
My favorite reality shows are Hoarders, which they're getting worse and worse. It's my favorite.
Scraping the bottom
No,
of the barrel.
but it is so
I love
fascinating.
Cheaters. You guys remember Cheaters?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Cheaters was the
so
best.
disturbing.
Oh,
That was so disturbing.
But
that's
my
like
second
soul eroding.
Yeah.
You watch it and you just feel like you're losing part of
my
your
favorite was the guy
integrity.
with the paint gun who actually chased the guys out. Going,
Yeah, right? But hoarders, in fact, we had Dr. Robin Z, who's who's the main gal, and she always comes in and she's dealt with the most horrific surroundings, and she always keeps her composure. And I always wondered, so she was on the show, but I cannot watch enough. But they do get into why the person got to that. So it's not that they're just capitalizing on what's happening there. They talk about whether it's abuse or family issues, and which we all go through. But at what point do we help ourselves? But my favorite is Intervention. It's coming back January 6th or January 2nd for a new.
I see those shows. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry.
See, my mom says the
That's
same
like
thing.
porn. Like it's like To Catch a Predator. That's like watching porn to me. Like, why do you want to watch someone get caught for? You know what I mean?
No.
That.
Intervention
but why
helps
do we gotta watch,
them, and then you realize.
But why do we got to watch that? Like, to me, I don't agree
I think
with
it's
that.
informative, and it talks about the addiction is about
We
the addiction.
know
It's
this.
not
We
about
know
the person.
this. But it's like to me, like you're exposing someone's at their lowest, and I think people who get off on that, I don't agree with it.
Well, I DVR it, so I don't know. I also DVR Judge Judy,
I like
so that's
America's Most Wanted. I like it when they actually caught the real bad guys.
which was almost next to impossible, by the way, because their most
For
wanted
you.
were like, yeah.
Well,
They're
no,
very
there's
hard to
one.
find.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the one you mentioned. There's one where the guy's kid was actually taken from him, and then he went on this personal mission he made the show, and he's the producer of the show, and it's basically
Like-
following and tracking these sexual
Was it
predators.
To Catch a Predator?
I think
Is that show?
that might be it. It's
Yeah.
a silver-haired guy.
Yeah.
And
From
he
what's-
sits in a
from-
chair.
What
and
was
sort
the
of,
network that was on?
It was John Walsh, wasn't
John
it?
Walsh, was that him?
And so his son or
Hey,
daughter
so how you
was
doing?
taken, but he's on this personal vendetta because his kid was taken and never found.
That's great.
See, that's
great.
I think
but-
it's informative, Scott.
No, it's not informative when you actually sit there and why do you want to watch someone getting caught for doing something like that? To me, it's just weird.
Because it tells other people, don't do that. You're going to get caught.
But why should you have to tell people? We know not to do that.
Because it fills an hour slot and it's cheaper than network television.
Thank
Those
you,
scripted
Erika.
programs.
There we go.
And that's why.
It's
and
about
that's-
money.
And that's why I think it's
Money,
pornography.
honey.
in
Well,
a
I
see,
need
sense.
to watch
there's-
television.
There's two
neither.
distinct things going on here. One is what you're talking about is pushing that emotional button. Like, why do you? And that's the sort of
Tell me that you did
thing
it.
that it's like porn, like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think that the good side of that particular show is that when that guy is chasing down suspects, he's airing it. He's basically airing their dirty laundry on TV. So people have been caught. Like suspects have been apprehended and proven guilty and found and convicted based on audience members seeing the guy in their hometown and saying, that's the guy I saw on the show. That's him, and the cops catch him. So
Yeah, I mean,
justice is kind of brought to.
I get what you're saying there. If they just said, "Hey, we caught these caught certain people, we've informed it that way." Why do we have to watch the process?
No,
Them
I
getting
get-
tackled, seeing these poor people. Sometimes their first offense, and it's like people get off on that, and I think that's excuse my French. It's fucked
Okay,
up.
you don't even have cable, so hush.
That's why I don't have cable. That's why I
we have
don't.
We have a
I'm
very
playing with you.
revenge-driven criminal
I'm a
justice
character.
system. Okay, and it's a just us system. I mean, it's like
Well,
the
we take
Cain and
revenge
Abel
against
story.
certain
You're-
people,
that's
not
true.
everybody.
I mean,
Let's
this is
be honest.
Nietzsche, ressentiment. It's about resentment. It's about
Just
getting even.
us.
I love
love
his
it.
music. Nietzsche in the club. Whoop, whoop.
That's very clever that you said that, though. It's true. It
Yeah.
is just us. And you
You're
notice
talking
that, right?
one of the smartest people. In fact, Erika, we have a history when our lives were different. You were in insurance. I was in corporate banking, and
Wow.
we got.
Yeah,
It was
no.
after an event, and we talked for 3 hours at a bar in Pasadena. It was a hotel bar, and we talked about
Lots of
every aspect
wine.
of life.
Oh yeah.
But you have so much research and so much thought from so many different walks of life. One of the most fascinating. This was 10 years ago, and the minute I saw you on American Horror Story, I was like, "Oh my god!" And it's so weird that our lives are now where they are, and it's
Wow.
come full circle. It's so weird.
amazing.
And my best friend,
Very
who I hung
cool.
out with today, he was there, and he happened to be in studio. Okay. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Scott, you are here to talk to us a little bit. It's the holidays, and we're starting to buy presents.
Oh, we're
I'm
doing
the
that now?
worst present buyer. So I'm going to get things started. Chris, I sent you a video to play, and it's a gentleman opening up a Christmas gift. And so we're going to get this segment started with this, and I want us all to enjoy this because do you know how you said, like, why do we watch it's porn for feeling bad about people? I cannot watch enough fail videos.
Oh, Lord.
I just hour after hour. It'll be 3:30 in the morning. So here's a little holiday, because we're going to be talking about gift giving. Go ahead, Chris.
Am I blocking you?
I think you blocked the window.
What?
I couldn't.
Oh,
really
the cat.
see.
Okay, I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
The cat got
How many
him.
views does that get? How many millions?
Oh,
of views?
millions of views. So he's
What the hell happened?
so he's opening up a video game, and the cat just attacks him.
Oh, Jesus!
The cat's like, that's mine.
Cats are from the devil. That is a scientific fact.
Oh, that's
That
why I
is
have a dog.
scientific.
No, Hot
Yes.
Pockets are from the devil.
Hot Pockets got me through
That's from
college,
the
by the
devil.
way, and Lean Pockets get me through life.
Just say no.
All right, so Scott, but you're going to tell us the top tips of gifts not to
My
give.
tips, it's my suggestions, and what the hell do I know? But hey, so from my perspective, if number one for me is do not buy store-specific gift cards, because I usually realize people do
What
not.
other type of gift card is there?
Well, somebody
American
might buy,
Express.
Can I finish? Thank
See,
you.
Lala is all about. She's like,
Thank you. She
American
gets it.
Express Black
So,
Card.
for example, let's get him a Target gift card. Let's get him this. It's like, well, what if
what
they
do I have to do to get
buy
that
a
sugar
Visa?
daddy?
Buy a Visa gift card. They'll take it anywhere.
But
So
American
that's
Express too. There's an American Express.
or
gift
American
card.
Express.
They take it anywhere.
Right, or
Really?
Master, whatever it is. A gift card, we can go anywhere. Don't.
why
be
is it so bad to give? Like, if you know the person,
Do you know how many
if
people
you have
that I
cheap ass
know?
friends, you're gonna like, here's your Big Lots gift card. They're gonna be happy.
Not me. That will just sit there and just sit there.
But
and
if I knew that you went to Starbucks every morning for an hour and I got you a Starbucks card, that's me saying, "Hi, friend, I'm too busy to care about you to get you a real gift. So here's a gift card, but from a place that you like and enjoy."
Yeah.
But that could be an exception. But as a general basis, do not buy store-specific gift cards. If you buy more, like you said, a Visa or American Express card, people will be more happy and appreciative of that.
Okay.
And a mess. Not many people would
I
think.
was put on this earth
I
just
don't
to
go to-
refute you. You know that, right?
We know this.
Literally every
But
day.
I'll
our
tell
tech-
you, people might. There's a woman, a friend of mine. Her name is DJ.
Let's
She
call her.
has a whole box of gift cards.
See,
And
that's zero thought, zero attention.
No,
I hate
no,
that.
because
I hate
she
gift cards. To
No,
begin
she
with.
collects them because she's like, well, I don't go to these stores.
Oh, what's her number?
Exactly.
All of a
So
sudden, I love
she
DJ.
goes, here, do you want
Yeah.
this one? Do you
I'll
want
take
that
it.
one? Do you do this? So I've learned from I'm like, I know I don't like those either because they sit there for a while. So just get a, if you're gonna do a gift card,
I just think gift cards are lazy to begin with.
Well, if you're gonna be lazy, be broad and lazy. Okay.
That's the name of
Get
my
it?
biography, Broad and Lazy.
Now, for me, some people may disagree, but it's not so much about don't buy this.
I
but
have no clue. In
Be
fact,
more,
I'm not gonna get you
be
anything.
be more aware about buying clothes. Now, if you're a boyfriend, clothes are fine. If it's a best friend and you know exactly what they wear and where they want to shop, yes.
Or maybe you
Otherwise,
want to change
how
up
many
what they're
people
doing.
literally wear the clothes are given as gifts?
People know me pretty well.
60%.
Thank
Maybe,
you.
maybe.
Thank you. And 60%
Do you?
is a
I
good
don't
rate.
have a lot of choices, so
Well,
yes,
you're
I'm
6'8".
happy to get something to wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Unless you know the person.
Hello.
I had a body like this over here. It's like, my God, you are exhausting to look at.
Well, maybe
Your
I-
clothes
You
are
see
put
this over here?
together
Make sure
by
you get a
Renaissance
focus on
Fair,
this,
Dolce
okay?
Gabbana, and Marc Jacobs, and Versace built
So
your
we're the
outfit.
ones that agree on this. So maybe we're just prissy. Maybe we're the ones like, yes, we agree. So maybe even here, we're too prissy.
I think it's nice.
So,
Like, if you see somebody wearing the same thing over and over, you're like, you know what? I think this would look great on you.
Alexander.
And it takes time to shop for clothes for
This
somebody.
isn't a suggestions, segment. This is actually telling people what not to get me. So no clothes, anybody.
Okay.
Nuh-uh.
All right.
Because the quick story. He went to the store to get boots for me. He said, "You like
I happened to be there, and there were boots.
the
there.
boots?" And he says, "Scott, do you
Because
like
we
these
talk
boots?"
about boots every day.
They're the same exact ones I'm wearing.
Oh,
So
no, honey.
yeah. So,
No,
anyways,
no, they're made out of real leather.
so another one that's kind of funny again, and this is what I kept saying. Don't buy holiday music or holiday themed gifts.
Oh,
to
I
me.
agree with that.
Because then again,
Yeah.
a lot of people are just
Yeah.
like, especially, I don't know if people are still buying CDs, but I've seen some CD gifts lately of holiday CDs. Don't do that.
Don't buy
That's
anybody's
scary.
CD. Yeah.
Don't do that.
That
so,
is
do we
scary.
at least agree on one of that?
Yes.
Yes.
I,
All
I
right.
do
agree.
that.
Okay.
Nobody, that's old school.
And plus, we know that
that's
holiday
like buying him an 8-track for Christmas.
Yes.
Right? Thank
No,
you.
see, but that would be retro cool. That would be considered
That's
cool. If somebody
awesome.
bought me a vinyl, I would be very, very happy.
Right. So
'Cause I
this
collect
is
vinyls.
this is good conversation.
Now,
whether you
collector's
agree with it.
item vinyl, yes, that is actually, that would be,
That's different.
top
Like
shelf.
Hanson's Mbop first limited edition single.
Oh,
I'm
that's
all about it.
classic. That's
you guys,
classic.
that is the most embarrassing song on my playlist, and I'm proud of that most embarrassing song. If that
I
makes
love
sense.
that song.
So now my
Yes.
list feels better.
Okay.
So now just a couple things I just want to say, like things like little suggestions. But people, at least I love. I feel like a lot of people like accessories too, or things that make life easier for the person. So, for example, a nice accessory for somebody if they play guitar, maybe get them a guitar case that's with their name stitched on the case. Like, think about what they like and a nice accessory for
Yeah.
it. That would be a great gift.
Yeah, I had
Smart.
a good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. He's we've been in a number of bands together. He's an amazing bass player. One year I got him a leather strap, and I had his nickname done with the leather, like
See, that's a great
That's
gift.
an awesome
like the
See?
letters down, like what do you call that?
Thank
when
you,
it's like
Gary, for making it sound better.
Yeah,
It's like the shoulder pad, but it's for your frontal
James.
pad. It's a frontal pad.
Well, it's like a strap to hold the guitar on, but with the way they do the letter, it looks like it's like a depression, like it's behind, like it's
That's cool.
backlit, you know?
Recessed.
Yeah, recessed.
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Really cool.
Oh, see, that's nice and classy. Also pretty pricey.
So that's
though,
what I'm saying. So you think about it like an accessory that can be personalized to something you already like and enjoy. People would appreciate that more, and it's personalized. So if you're thinking about a gift, kind of think in that spectrum. I would
So
say.
do
So we're
like
doing
I
our
do.
best gifts now. Is this our gift time?
You go to Color Me Mine.
So here's some gifts to show you.
Color me mine.
Yeah, just make
Jake
everybody
Busey,
pottery.
A funny webisode that we could do is taking Jake Busey to color me mine.
That would be rad.
That'd be so awesome. All right, well, thank you for those holiday tips.
And thanks for shooting them down too.
Well, hey, that's what I do agree with, like the accessory type stuff. Yeah.
Well, but you know, it's more about another perspective because if someone gets me clothes, I'm like, you're telling me how to dress? You know, like I don't wear that. The only
You're
people
offended.
not offended. I just don't. I don't.
What if
wear
they're
them.
offended by your outfit?
What does that mean?
But that's their
offended?
problem. I like my outfit, so you're giving me something that you know I might not like it. So I think clothes. If you know the person very well, you know exactly what their taste is.
You look like the missing village person. Okay, a huge thing. You know, I'm
Really?
kidding. I love your
But
passion. Okay, let's get the show on the road. A huge
Yes.
thank you to our sponsors, Testloop. Testloop is the only way to travel
Yes.
from LA to San Diego, to Palm Springs, to Orange County. You ride in a Tesla in your own private little seat. The doors go like this. They put it on
Yes.
autopilot most of the time. You
crazy.
get snacks, you get sound canceling headphones. It's cheaper than an Uber. It's so luxury. Go to Testloop.com. They have 4 routes leaving per day, wherever you want to go.
4, he said. 4
4,
routes.
yes.
4 routes, he
They
says.
can actually do that now?
Yeah,
Robotic
you literally
cars?
go and find out what city they're picking up and dropping off on. But that's the only way that I go to Palm Springs.
Are you saying there's not a driver? No, there's a driver.
There's a driver, but they literally put it on autopilot.
Oh my god.
Sweet.
Ours played a ukulele signed by Elon Musk, by the way.
Wow.
And you guys, it's so affordable. You cannot even believe how affordable it is. Also, Panache Optical Gallery, they do custom sunglasses and eyewear for celebrities. Their showroom in Palm Springs is beautiful. Go to panacheopticalgallery.com. My glasses are made from vinyl records, by the way. And then your
You have
glass
them?
case.
You have them because they're really cool. They're really
Yeah,
cool.
I got to see this.
See, that would be another good gift too for somebody.
Oh, it's very
Wow.
expensive, though. So,
Well-
I'm a huge fan of musicals. So this is a Jesus Christ Superstar original 1979 album. It still has the cast there. Murray Head, his name is on there.
That's made
Look
from the
at
vinyl.
that.
Yeah. So, but they fashioned these glasses after Betty Davis's glasses, and the actual frame is made from vinyl records.
No way.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and the guy who runs it is so amazing. He's so good for the show. Every time I go out there, I get a new pair of glasses. So, go to Panache Optical Gallery. Also, our final sponsor, our tried and true sponsor from day one. If you want to help a small business succeed and compete with the big guys, and everybody, don't laugh. It's Spunk Lube.
Yeah, right, I was waiting for that.
Yes.
I'm like, we still have
A
it?
little dabble do you, our very first sponsor from day one, and he is still tried and true. Gay, straight, in between. Sometimes we all need a little rev up. Maybe for your motorcycles, that you build need a little Spunk Lube.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Anyway, they're featured on many sets in Southern California too. SpunkLube.com, a little dabble do you. Okay, let's get the show
Mainly
on the road.
Van Nuys, California.
Yeah.
right?
Serious.
Yeah.
That sounded like a fluffer. I needed a fluffer joke. That needed a fluffer joke.
My humor is a fluffer. There we go. All right, I want to formally introduce our guest for today. So excited to have such a diverse panel, and this is what I love about the show. You never know who is going to be on the show and what mixture we have, and we've been so blessed. So thank you so much for my guests. Thank you for my listeners, and Chris, thank you for staying awake. Okay. Oh, I get that death stare. All right, Erika Ervin, from humble beginnings to worldwide model, fitness trainer, actress, and TV host, Erika Ervin, a.k.a. Amazon Eve, has headlined in over 30 countries and has been featured in 200-plus newspapers and magazines. A once title holder with the Guinness Book of World Records as the tallest model. She's going nowhere but up. Called Babezilla in Japan, by the way. She is widely known for her roles in Hemlock Grove and, of course, American Horror Story Freak Show, one of my favorite seasons. So intense. And we're going to talk all about that. Along with her busy schedule of TV and print appearances, she is a champion for ending child abuse and neglect, an advocate for the LGBT rights and those who suffer from AIDS. And if you're in the Long Beach area, come here to do comedy. Comedy. I didn't know comedy was added to the list. At the Laugh Factory tomorrow, which is Wednesday 29th at 7:30 p.m. at the Laugh Factory. And I've been there many, many times. It's right by the water, and I love it.
Beautiful location, too.
Yes. Well, thank you. Welcome to the show, Erika Ervin.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Another lovely lady joining our show, born and raised in Los Angeles. We have a native here, Z-Lala. Z-Lala. I think I want to change it to Z-Lala. That's what I want to do.
Love it. I love it.
You guys, just Diva, diva, diva. That's all I have to say. She began singing at the age of 5 years old, coming from a background of talented opera singers, theatrical people, and drama performers. By the age of 14, she began to record in different studios and worked with different producers until she found her own distinctive style. And when I say distinctive style, I mean distinctive style. She's been recognized for her musical and artistic prowess by leading industry figures such as Shaul Talmay of David Bowie and The Who, Mark Williams of Madonna, Janet Jackson, and many, many others. You could go to your website and see this long list of quotes. She's well known for her eccentric costumes that bear resemblance to the outlandish style of Lady Gaga, of course. Her appearance at the Billboard Music Awards received attention from publications such as Billboard, E! News, Business Insider, Yahoo, and various others that featured Z Lawless. And this is what I love. Featured you as the worst outfit.
Yep.
You took that. You're like,
Okay.
I made it. And I'm going to come back bigger and better next time. But I love when people can take. Number one, it was not the worst dress at all. It was so provocative and so inventive.
Thank you.
Her appearance at the Latin Grammy Awards also generated buzz. It was like, God, girl. From her notable looks from the Washington Post and Latino magazine. Welcome, Zila.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Clap track.
Clap track, clap track, clap track.
And last and certainly not least, I've been a huge fan of our guest for such a long time. Jake Busey was born, raised, and is living well in show business. The son of photographer Judy Helkenberg and actor Gary Busey, Jake spent his childhood on film sets, on the road, and also on the road with his father's various bands. Grew up also side staging such act, watching from the wings, literally Willie Nelson, Leon Russell, Fleetwood Mac, and he found his passion for music and performing. His first movie, Straight Time, in 1977, starring alongside his father and Dustin Hoffman, and we actually have a shoot for that. Look how little you were.
Of course we do.
Kathy
So
Bates
adorable.
was my mom, yeah.
Oh, Kathy
cool.
Bates. Erika,
Yeah.
Kathy Bates. And you worked side by side with Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
After finishing school for arts and sciences, he returned to the big screen with Jodie Foster in Contact. It's such a crazy, weird role. And then with Will Smith, Gene Hackman, John Voight, and Lisa Bonet in The Enemy of the State. Michael J. Fox in one of my favorite films, Peter Jackson's The Frighteners. Luke Wilson and Drew Barrymore in Home Fries. Reese Witherspoon in SFW. And of course, Starship Troopers, which was at that time was such a new type of film.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that. He appeared in the final season of Justified, of course, that hit series on FX. All 3 seasons are from dusk till dawn. The series, such a fun series. You guys have to check it out. El Rey Network and Netflix. Also, part of History Channel's 8-hour miniseries, Texas Rising, alongside Thomas Jane. I hope you still have his phone number. Bill Paxton, Ray Liotta, Jeremy Davies, just among many, many others. Recently, he can be seen in Hulu's Freakish, Showtime's Network's Ray Donovan in Season 5, also featuring Susan Sarandon. And your role in that was Acid Man.
Quick and to the punch with Acid Man.
Yeah. But quickly a fan favorite as well. And then this summer, August 2018, I'm so excited, he makes a return to the summer event, which is the return of Predator, titled The Predator. And it's a sequel to, it's a direct sequel to Predator 2, not any of the Predator spin-offs. And in such a weird, I guess, fate, let me know if this makes sense, Jake will be playing his father's character's son's character. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just, you have to
Your
streamline
character
it.
is a character's son played by your father in the original Predator 2.
It's a stretch. I play my father's son.
Yeah. And also a bit of a Renaissance man. His hobbies include, not that fatherhood's an hobby, but fatherhood is there. Of course, acting, music, and we have some footage of you playing the drums, flying planes, and fabricating custom motorcycles. Please welcome Jake Busey.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you, Alexander.
So, Jake, you do so many interviews on so many different, from podcasts to big network interviews. How do you prepare for an interview? You're just like, okay, here's another one. Where do I show up today?
I'm just an interview whore, is all. Never mind me. I like talking about myself.
Don't we all?
No, you know, I think that I think one shows up to the ball ready to dance, and who knows what the music's gonna be, but you know, bring it on, let's do it. What do you want to know? And I'm here to tell you what I've experienced.
Well, and Erika, for American Horror Show, they made you, or Horror Story, they made you go to so many red carpet events, the full cast, and of course it was Freak Show, so there was that dual thing where it's like, we want to talk to the actors, but we also want to talk to some of the personalities that made up the Freak Show. You guys did so many red carpets. In fact, Naomi Grossman, who played Pepper, has been on the show a number of times. And you got to hang out with Lady Gaga one night.
Yeah.
But were you asked the same questions over and over and over?
Like how tall I am?
Mm-hmm.
Or I have this little T-shirt saying, "No, I don't play basketball."
That's good.
You know, and usually it's. Can I say I should change my name to Holy Shit?
Yeah, because you walk up and like, oh.
I hear that.
Well, they
all
have to change the
time.
camera angles. That's usually from the camera person. They're like, oh god, here we go, ankle up.
I know. And the elevator scene, when you close the elevator doors and the mirrors are there, and the guys are on both sides of me, both looking. What the hell is that? It's very common for me. So it's a Glover Gawker effect.
And Z, we hear so much about your outfits, and we see your music. Your music, in fact, go to YouTube, look up Z Lala. Every one of your videos is so different and so out there and amazing.
Thank you.
But we don't really get to know the person behind the persona. So on a red carpet, what are they asking you? Other than your outfits and what video do you have coming out? What is it that you're getting asked? Because it's very difficult to piece together questions, I'll be honest.
Oh, they say, how are you still, functioning? Isn't that heavy? They ask about,
Is that
how
heavy?
do you do it?
Because your headpieces, right? Yeah.
They say, is that all your hair? How many pounds is your outfit? And you're right. It doesn't show exactly the daily life of me and who I am, which is why my social media, we do a lot of videography and we do a lot of reality on my social media, which is why I have a huge following on social media, because we show things that is not shown on the red carpets or my interviews or on Fashion Police. So yeah, I would say go to my social media if you want to get into the dirt.
Or the glimpse of the real you.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because actually, I'd say you're actually so sweet.
Thank
when I
you.
met you. I'm
What do
like,
you mean, actually?
Like,
Thank
I'm
you.
thinking,
I
okay,
know.
I'm
You know
thinking,
what?
is she gonna be diva-like, or
Yeah.
what she gonna be? And then she comes and she's so sweet, so bubbly. So
A
That's
lot of
very
people
true.
think that. A lot
Yeah.
of people think I
I
could be a
was
bitch, but I'm
pleasantly
actually
surprised.
nice. I have
well,
a
you
good
seem
heart.
like you know what you want, but I'm saying that you have this like this very sweet airness to you. And
Thank
it's,
you.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I'm glad you see that.
Now, you left college to pursue your music career.
Yeah.
Are you happy? I mean,
100%. I think, you can't really. You could get a degree in music, but I don't think for what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be, I don't think you could get a degree in that per se. So I figured, let me discontinue college and study, go through this, work with producers, go through the dirt.
The experience.
Yeah, absolutely. The school of life. I learned a lot, and I've been through a lot, absolutely. But I think that was the best thing I could have done to work on my music and my craft. Put all my time into that in the studios and networking and really, I did the right thing. I don't regret it. No.
well, it's very, very funny you say that. And Jake, I want to know, because your music experience too, you learned a lot on the road watching these greats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also one of the things about music, and especially if you have aspirations of being a big diva pop star, is that we all
I
want
do,
to
yes.
see those, right? Of
Yeah.
course.
Cheers.
We all want to see those people young. I was in a band, we got a record deal, we got signed and all that stuff, and then none of us slowed down to realize that we were all 38 years old. And the record executive said to us in one meeting, he's like, I'm going to put some money behind you guys, but I'm just not, I just have one apprehension, and that's about your age. And we all kind of looked at each other like, what does that mean? And then like the next year when I turned 40, I was like, oh, now I know what he was talking about. We're fucking old guys, and it
Isn't that
doesn't
weird?
work because music, we want to see the Jonas Brothers. We want to see these guys that are like 15 and they're coming up. We want to see like divas that are 18. We
Do
want
we
to
though?
see like, well, I mean, I'm not saying me personally, but I'm saying, culture in general. Like, if you look at all the artists that emerge on pop radio, they're all like 18, 19. I mean, look at Michelle Branch was like, what was she, 14 when her thing came out
Wow.
with Carlos
She was
Santana?
very, very young.
So, and Miley Cyrus, I mean, everybody starts really young. So if you whisk them off to college, we don't get to see them perform because they're studying and they're not young and
Absolutely.
on stage.
Couldn't have said it better.
Plastic surgery
So-
and airbrushing.
So anyway,
So then,
I mean,
what
it's-
music is out there then for the 40-plus-year-olds? I mean, there has to be.
You have to have
a
already made
need
it.
and- okay.
I mean,
So,
look at
yeah.
Dave Grohl, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you already make it. You
Yeah.
make it when you're between 20 and 25.
Yikes! I was about
Yeah.
to start my band next year too. No, but it's funny you say that. We a couple of weeks ago we had R5, which is a huge pop band. We had
Yeah.
the drummer Ellington Ratliff on, and he had been doing it for 9 years, and he's only like 25,
Yeah.
26. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
my God.
Wow.
Jake, I want to play a little bit of you playing the drums, and this is a kind of like a behind-the-scenes music video that you did with your dad. You wail on those drums, by the way. Chris, can we take?
Which I'm curious to see what this is.
Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. It's coming. There we go. I want you guys to look at Jake just wailing on the drums.
Oh, I
There we
also
go.
played guitar on this. That's me playing guitar too.
Crazy.
My dad's one of his old songs.
I never knew that your dad sang, by the way.
Yeah, he played Buddy Holly and got nominated for an Academy Award.
Well, I do know that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was fun.
But did being around some of the greats so young, did it desensitize you to the whole mystique of music and bands?
I think it did when I was young, and there was a period of time in my teens that I branched away from home, away from the nest, away from the small town that I grew up in, and I started doing other things. One of them was off-road racing, and hanging out with a bunch of cats that were, blue-collar dudes, pipeline guys, plumbers, carpenters, contractors, cement contractors, guys that, they ran the companies that fixed the freeways, and then their hobby, because they had the money, was the off-road racing, which is expensive. And as a young guy, I liked that. But what that did is it took me away from that sort of performer's little sort of cocoon I lived in, where the world was under my dad's kind of umbrella of like, all things important in the world are performing, whether it be acting or directing or music or anything like that. And I got to see, like, from the outside back in, like, okay, well, there's more to life than just that. And then all of a sudden I had this huge reverence for all the people that I grew up watching. And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, wow. As much as I complained about my dad not taking me camping as a kid, look what I got to do. I got to do all these wonderful things, and I got to, hang on in Willie Nelson's bus and get a contact high when I was 8, I mean, these are things that I later learned to appreciate with the little separation in time.
Right.
And like Mick Fleetwood, like his daughter is like, one of my best friends, and I was just talking to her the other day, and I had this sort of epiphany. I was like, God, I need to talk to your dad. I need to tell him how amazing he is, because I ran into him at the Dodger Stadium when they played last summer, and he was just fit and tan and just like strong as an ox, and 75 years old, and the guy looks like he could pick up a car. And I was just like, wow, after all those years on the road, all the ups and downs, all the drugs, the this, the that, and he's come out of it all. And so on top, standing on top of this mountain, beating his drum, and I was just so impressed. And I called Lucy at 8 in the morning. I was like, I gotta talk to your dad, So we woke him up in Hawaii because of the time difference. It was so early, but and later in life, I did grow to appreciate those wonderful things that I got to see as a kid. Yeah, and I really am thankful for that.
And Erika, you grew up on a very small farm, hometown, like cows and grapes. And whatnot, and you're
yes.
Grapes.
yeah, and grape.
Cows and grapes.
Wine
Is that
country.
Napa?
Not quite wine country. We had a lot of. It's like farmland, Turlock, California. In fact, I'm actually staying there right now for the holidays. It's flat. It's green. 40% of the food comes out of that part of the country, and you learn. It's a very Christian, very conservative town. It's been that way for years. I had to run away when I was 16 out of San Francisco to, find myself.
Nice.
Well, and you were super, super tall at such an early age. So not only was it a small hometown, but then you were the tallest person in the town.
Well, I grew up really fast at 14, and I think I'm going to be taller than everybody else. I got really desperate, so I started looking for a way to transition because I was born, biologically male. And by the time I got to San Francisco in 1983, 84, AIDS scared the hell out of me, so I stayed away. And I didn't even start transitioning until I was 36. I wanted to when I was 16, but I had to wait. Now, they come out in utero. They're just like brand new, and they look so hot. It's like, my God, I'm jealous.
But have you been able to use any of those small town like value system or any of that? You're in this entertainment industry where it's vicious. You have to watch your back.
Yeah.
What were you able to learn as a small hometown girl?
From this business?
Like, what were you able to transfer over?
Well,
Manners?
from my world, the work ethic. Because, millennials just don't work very hard.
What is that? Except
They're
for you,
lazy.
Zilala.
I work my butt off. I mean, it's.
What's the cutoff point to millennial, by the way? Like what age? What?
That's a good question.
Because I'm supposedly I'm a
It's year
millennial.
2000.
I'm 80.
It's those that are like in their 30s now.
Is it 82 to 2000?
Because I'm
I was
82.
82. You had to be born like 82 to 2000.
Because I'm 82, but I bust my ass. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you're still early.
Because I don't consider myself to be the millennials that we see today.
But I think it's the way that you're raised. I have not met. We have a lot of young actors that
He
come
doesn't
through the
seem
show.
like a millennial. At
Yeah,
all.
this
he's
is
a
a
very
very
old
focused
soul,
business. You stay
and we
very
love him
focused
for
to
it.
what you're doing, and you go out there, make your own work. This is a do-it-yourself kind of gig.
See, but I think what Hollywood and Jake, you've been in the industry for a good from your youth into now your adulthood, and so you can tell us how the industry has changed. But
Oh my God.
But people think that you can just become a success overnight, and that somebody's going to discover you, and that you can be on set for 4 hours a day, and then have your assistants do everything, or not show up on set on time. And we get a lot of young people on this show, and they're at the start of their career, and they're so tired all the time, and they're complaining about like little
Entitled.
things.
Yeah, it's
That's the
ridiculous.
word. That is the word.
I want to slap them.
Yeah, I think
They
you
don't
can
know.
blame it all on the computer and on the internet. It really because they grew up in a culture
Social media.
with that social media and with all of that. They grew up where everything was not even further than arm's reach.
Right.
Everything was
Right.
accessible. So it's almost you can't really fault them because they didn't know any different.
True.
They were also
True.
overprotected too.
And it's.
Yeah.
I mean, we when you wanted to find out where somebody was, you had to ask a few folks, and you had to kick around a can a little bit to where you found, your ex-girlfriend.
Or if you weren't
whatever.
home, you didn't get a phone call until you got
Right.
back home. That's how I remember growing up.
Yeah, and
I had a beeper.
if you made plans with somebody to meet somewhere,
You do it.
You had to be.
You
meet
do
there.
it.
That's
Yeah.
another good point. You can't just text, "Hey, 20 minutes late, it's LA."
Right.
Yeah, there was no room for being late or flaking. So they, I think
In my
culturally
day,
they just
We walked to the set in 5 feet of snow.
But there's a lot of mythological perception that gets distorted. I think with all that. I don't have an assistant. I don't have someone following me around doing my stuff. I was late tonight because I paid attention to my Apple Map thing that said it'll take you an hour. Oh no, it did not take an hour. It was an hour and a half.
Oh my Lord! Well,
Yeah.
thank you for driving for that. I want to talk about your first.
It was
role.
only 5 miles.
That's LA. Welcome to LA. If somebody says, "Hey, do you want to go to a party or premiere in Santa Monica?" No,
No.
no,
Nope.
thanks.
Nope.
It's a 3-hour
I
journey.
have to
Passport.
I have to take a whole day off just to go to Santa
But
Monica.
it is true. That's not
Exactly.
even a joke, though, because, well, whatever. Your first role in Straight Time, I got a few questions about this. Of course, with your dad, Gary
It's not an
Busey.
LGBT movie. It's not straight time
Straight
as
Time.
in that.
I saw that movie once. I still own it. But of course, with your dad and Dustin Hoffman, the question that has been asked in different ways is: was it fun for you, or did you have nerves, or was it just so natural for you to be a part of that film?
I was very young. I was 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no nerves about it whatsoever. My dad quotes me as having said, he asked me, he said, "So, son," my dad's very gregarious and very,
Yes.
very
Celebrity Apprentice,
jovial.
my favorite.
Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, and he's very enthusiastic. When you catch him in a good mood on a good day, he's extremely enthusiastic, and he's also very supportive of anyone around him who he respects. I mean, it's incredible how he puts everybody on a pedestal. It's quite amazing.
And he tries new things. Dancing with the Stars. Hello.
Yeah, and
I didn't know
so
that.
one of the things he asked me, I guess he quotes me on this. He said, I almost remember the moment, but he said, so, son, you like this acting thing? You like this? What do you think about it? And I said, no, I think it's stupid. I'd rather be drawing a truck. I was 5, and I was learning how to draw.
Typical kid.
And he said, what do you mean? Why do you think acting is stupid? And I said, well, I think it's stupid because you pretend, but you play like you're not pretending. So it's,
Right.
it's dumb.
And from a kid's point of view, that makes perfect sense. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't do another movie until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Z, talking about entertainment in the family, you come from, talk about The Greatest Showman. You have so many different aspects of performance family.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. My grandmother was a very well-known opera singer in Lebanon. And I remember when I was 3 years old, actually, no, I was 4 years old, 4.5, going on to 5. She was babysitting me. And then I started singing with her. She was singing an opera, and I had the pipes. So I just went for it. She's like, what? And I do theater. My father was an actor in his country, in the Middle East. He performed for thousands of people. He was a professional dancer, one of the best in his country, an actor, a singer. So I get it.
Nice.
I get it from them.
Well, I love it. And that also
Nice.
comes your culture. You sing in how many? Because every time I look at your bio, which has been every day this week to prepare for today, you refresh and there's another language that's added. I kid, but you've sang in what, like 18 different languages?
Yeah, how many languages you do?
19
Do
languages.
you actually, are you proficient in all 19?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I've performed
Wow.
for Latin events
Wow,
and
fantastic.
Arabic events, Russian venues, and it depends on the event. I'll do the like when I did, I think the Latin stage. I did the main stage, and I did the Latin stage at LA Pride about 2 years ago. So I also
I
did
have to
Latin.
remember that.
So
Yeah.
if
It was
so,
LA Pride.
so when you tour, do you do your own music in those different languages for the countries
Yeah.
that you do it?
Yeah.
That's fucking
It's
cool.
brilliant.
impressive.
That's
Absolutely.
fucking cool. I think
Absolutely.
that's
How
cool.
we met was I was the MC for Palm Springs Pride.
Yes.
And
That's
we
cool.
had so many performers because each performer had about a half hour to 45 minutes, which is a pretty short set.
Right.
And I was there for 8 hours for 3 days.
Wow.
And in walks you, because backstage, I thought backstage was nice in terms of everyone was getting along, but
Right.
when there's so many acts you have to introduce, you're like, okay, give me the bio. And so you guys came in. The way you guys carried yourself from the minute you walked in till the minute you left was so professional, kind to everybody.
Thank you.
And your dance group. But the minute you took on stage, it was like, whoosh, who's that? Because I was like, okay, how much longer can I go to the bar and get a
Right.
drink? But you guys were on, and it was just this whole experience. I want to tell everybody that loves holiday videos, you singing opera.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna massacre the pronunciation, but it's like a Christmas type video
Yes.
with Christmas trees. I start celebrating Christmas November
November
1st. and
1st.
he knows.
Wow.
I love the
Nice.
bond.
But the your videos on YouTube are so out there, and we're gonna watch a little bit of one of my favorites, and they're so varied, but they're very genre specific.
Yes.
And so to see you a little bit softer in your approach
Yes.
with the opera,
Vid quand même.
but yeah. So
Vid quand même.
bless you. Yes. Bless you, my child. Yeah. Just YouTube Zilala, because try to spell that out. But it was a very different approach in terms of a fan of yours seeing you, because your look is very gentle. It's
Right.
just you
Right.
in the studio.
Yeah.
And that must have felt so naked. And Scott, you're going
Let's
through
do
this
it.
a little bit through Oh
Absolutely.
Holy Night,
Yeah.
whereas you really have to sing the phrases. You have to be
Yes.
the singer first. You can't do a lot of the pop stuff.
That's right.
And that must have been very frightening for you to put that out there for your
It
listeners that are
was.
expecting
It's a
something.
vulnerability.
It was.
It
It
is
was very
vulnerability.
natural makeup, no glitter in the studio. All right, do it. Italian, it's a amazing Dante piece and very raw. You're right, but I think it was the only video that didn't. I get positive and negative comments, lovers and haters.
Exactly.
Of course, it's social
That's
media.
reality.
Absolutely, and that's the only one that I think I've maybe gotten one negative comment on. I mean, just for kicks,
Sure.
but it was very natural. I had a lot of the elders loved it. My family loved
Let's
it.
see
My
it.
parents-
Let's see it.
It's opera.
Yeah.
No, I want you to go to YouTube because
Yeah.
selfishly we're going to play one of my favorite videos, which is the Sweet Dreams.
I want to see that.
Oh, yes.
Actually, Chris, do you mind if we watch a little bit of Sweet Dreams? What I love about this video is not only is it a cover of one of my favorite songs,
Yep.
but it shows
Annie Lennox.
yes,
I love anyone.
Yeah.
but it shows you gapping from a throwback to music way before
Yep.
your time to incorporating your personal style
Yep.
to it, which I love. Let's take a
Thank
little
you.
peek at Sweet Dreams.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Keep your head moving on. Hold your head moving
That's
on.
me every morning, by the way.
Hold your head moving on. Keep your head moving on. Hold your head moving on. Keep your head moving on. Got to keep your head
Wow. Pipes was right.
But you make the song yourself, like you're phrasing everything.
Right.
I love that shot, by the way, the reverse shot.
Oh, yeah, you like that? Good eye.
I want to be an extra in your next video, by the
So
way.
amazing.
I'm calling you.
Yeah,
Should.
you don't have to tell
It's
me. I'll be like,
happening.
I'm in every scene.
And you too. He's going to jump in there.
He'll take
holding
over,
him back.
start directing.
I'll be holding
There
him
you go.
back.
Whatever.
Back there.
But I want to talk about doing something out of your comfort level, like we were talking about your opera
Yeah.
piece. Erika, you doing comedy. When I found out that you were doing the Long Beach Laugh Factory, number one, the Laugh Factory, you can't just go up on the Laugh Factory and be like, here I am. Laugh Factory has some history to it.
Yes.
Number one, I've known you in many different stages, from the business stage we talked about. And like I said, when I saw you on American Horror Story, I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I know her. And in doing
Except it was louder and like an octave higher.
yeah, how dare you? I was Betty Boop.
See that episode.
But then also seeing your involvement with short films and also your activism, which you do a lot for the LGBT community. So thank you for that.
Yes.
But comedy has got to be one of the most scary things in terms. In fact, Jessica Lange, whom you shared the screen with for many, many episodes of American Horror Story, her least favorite role was in Tootsie because she didn't know how to play the comedy, and she was at constant odds with her own acting every day. She felt worse and worse about her performance.
Wow.
And the director says, "Don't play the comedy, play the character. You don't play comedy." And Jake, you do such a good job of mixing the comedy with whatever genre, whether it be sci-fi or horror or whatever you're doing. But it's a very delicate dance. So, Erika, how did you get into this comedy?
Oh God, it started right after Hemlock Grove. I needed to do something because I need to go out there and do some more speaking gigs. In terms of I want to make my show. I was working on my solo show, and I wanted to add some comedy to it because it can get pretty down because I'm talking about tough subjects and dealing with transition, also educating the public at the same time. And I get out there, I want to also add humor to the program, and I've watched a lot of comedians throughout the years, and I studied theater and did a lot of shows up in Northern California when I was doing my undergraduate work. Then I moved to Southern California, went to law school, studied there, worked in law offices, worked as an investigator, worked for the big law firms downtown, went into business legal affairs. I wanted to disappear, transition, and you met me when I was the executive director of the Los Angeles Association of Health Underwriters.
Yes, and I remember because your pantsuits, like Hillary Clinton would call you to be like, what should I wear? Because your pants, when you would come in, I remember everybody would just be like, there would be the silence, whoosh. And there was this commanding presence. And then you would speak in the most eloquent way with facts and everything. Like, this is your life. You constantly live this learning, and then sharing. That's exhausting, by the way.
And also making people look up. You know, that's part of my job. I saw a problem. I was working at a downtown law firm years ago about how to make a prosthetic medically necessary and insurable, and I applied that same logic and reasoning to getting transgender medical needs covered. Just basically removing the exclusion out of all health insurance contracts. And there was a lot of cooperation, and I wasn't the only one that worked on this. But
and it wasn't a sexy topic at that time. Go ahead.
So you
Yes.
were responsible then for cutting out a clause that allowed people to transition with the insurance and without sort of, I guess you cut out a lot of hassle and hurdle and a lot of you helped streamline the process.
think about it like this: why do we brush our teeth?
Right.
Real simple. You know, insurance companies got involved. The American Dental Association said, okay, brushing our teeth, we abate further comorbid things like more expensive dental processes in the future. Plus, it's healthier. You live longer. It costs less to treat that. It costs less to brush your teeth than not to. And I applied the same logic. Medical economists do this. Actuaries do this. And we discovered that it costs less to treat this condition than not to. That's the simple argument, but it's been known that way for many, many years. And I just used that same logic. And the health underwriters would be the ones that would be opposing that idea. So when you lobby from the outside, I was lobbying from the inside. And I communicated that with the Transgender Law Center, the Transgender Equality Movement back in Washington, D.C., and GLAAD and HRC. So it was a combined effort of multiple fronts, lobbying to change the Affordable Care Act to include Section 1557, which removed the exclusion out of all insurance contracts.
And
in
this
the
is
United States.
pre
Incredible.
Caitlyn Jenner. It's pre
That's-
when it was
that's
like
amazing.
part of
But
pop
so
culture.
that's supporting the LGBTQ community,
Yeah.
not sitting on social media ranting about
Yeah.
the community. That's doing
Yeah.
something about it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I try not to do
seriously.
victim.
Yes, well, and I think that's
That's
the
amazing.
most important part of any
it's amazing.
Minority community. Erika, Tori Trudeau says, "Love you, Erika."
Oh, thank you.
Yes, that's a
Thank
fan.
you, Tori.
Scott Cruz says, "I love you, Erika."
Eric in the chat room
I do.
says,
Big hugs.
Scott. Eric in the chat room says, "A black T-shirt for Christmas for Scott. How could you go wrong?" He'll check the price tag. That's how you could go wrong.
I'm not that bougie. I'm not. I'm just.
No.
Kim. But
I'm just teasing.
I'm Scott
Can I
Cruz.
get a
think-
6'10" sex doll in my
Yeah.
Yes, let's get the.
robotic, you know?
So, but you have all of this energy going on, activism. So I wanted to, and I got this question a lot from our LGBT fans. You were in a season of American Horror Story, and then the subtitle, which is always the hot button of every American Horror Story season, is what's the subtitle going to be? And it was Freak Show. And so you had to approach the character. Number one, I know that the character was written for a man.
Yes.
Number two, being part of the trans community and then being in a show that's titled Freak Show, wasn't that a little dangerous? Because then it puts trans rights with this, well, it's kind of a freak show happening.
Well, if we're going to look at intersectional politics and we go back in time, I wasn't playing a trans woman. I was playing a giant cisgender woman. And that was the name of freak shows since the 1950s. When Ed Sullivan started entering the television market, people would sit at home instead of going out to these carnivals and freak shows that would travel. And it was like that for hundreds of years. And I was given a historical lesson about the extraordinary body narrative, and by Matt Frazier, who was my co-star, who played Paul the Illustrated Seal, the one with the short arms.
Yeah.
And he was part of those freak show elements in New Jersey, and he's done that kind of performance art for many years. He's also a drummer, by the way.
He's so handsome, too, by the way.
Yes, he's easy on the eyes. He's
Yes.
cute fella, and I got to do a fight scene. That was kind of cool. Michael Chiklis actually taught me how to do a fight scene. I've never done that before.
We almost played that scene, but it was a little
Uh-huh.
graphic and it was hard to watch, but it was so realistic. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to kill Michael Chiklis.
I didn't get to
Dream
kill
of
him. I
many
beat him up.
Well, yes.
I threw him out of my trailer.
Dream of many of his co-stars. No, just kidding. So you took it as an empowering moment, and playing the character. Somebody is saying that they can't quite hear you. If you can get closer.
Can you hear me better?
There you go. Can we turn up her mic?
How's that?
Thank you.
I
Yes.
can hear myself. All right.
So
I like to
I
hear
love
myself.
I love that you took that, and you showed up to the audition with hair slicked back. You showed up as a man for the.
It was originally
audition.
the part was originally slated for a guy named Johnny Long in the Pants. I mean, when you went over there, I mean, it's a Ryan Murphy show. We love you, Ryan. You're a genius.
yeah.
And I showed up, and there's my dating pool right there in Hollywood. We're talking about 6'10". I have no makeup, no hair on. I've got a flannel shirt on, brown my breasts, drop my voice and going, no, wrong. Anyway, went in there, nailed it. I wanted to meet the guy. I wanted them to see me. I didn't expect to get the part, and they rewrote the part for Amazon Eve, a character I created in 2009.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's launched my career. It's given me a visible point from which to speak to the listening of the public out there about educating them about who we are. It's about visibility. Yeah. I've done my good deeds, getting insurance and taking care. Now it's about my career and doing my solo show. And I will be at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach again.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Now, in terms of, this was like your first big visible role. FX, #1, which is a great network. And then American Horror Story, which, how can you go wrong? And then this Dreamcast, Jessica Lange, Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett, Emma Roberts. What nerves did you have? And Naomi told us about what set life, like you guys were literally in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
And you guys were kind of like...
Best town.
Best
Best
and worst town. I think I have a prison record there.
It's a fun town.
But you guys were like kind of
Lots to
sequestered,
see.
and your shooting schedule was so intense, and you just got the script like a few days ahead of the next, like what was happening. So you guys were kind of living the show as you were filming it. It wasn't like you had this huge arc where you guys knew where the show was going.
I'm sure they had a frame of the arc, but they were examining us and looking at us and what we do, knowing our stories. And once they knew our stories, they incorporated that within the entire story. And the product was beautiful. I mean, this is not a freak show. This is a family. This is how people who were treated differently, who had a different, had an extraordinary body narrative, whether they were born that way or through accident or illness, became injured in some way that deformed them, and they were cast out of society, and they would run to a freak show in order to find solace, home, job, and a purpose.
Now, did you have any nerves going to set with some of these names?
Which one?
Like-
Amazon Eve?
No.
I mean, I no. Oh, are you talking about the stars on the show?
Yeah, like when you're on set with Jessica Lange.
like intimidation, where you were trying to.
At first, I was very starstruck. I remember her walking on the makeup trailer for the first time, and I went, you have that oh shit moment.
Yeah.
It's like, that's her. She's already done Normal. She's already done a visibility film with us, and I mean Superstar, and then Angela Bassett and Evan Peters, and
so dreamy.
I know Kathy Bates. It's like God, and I've had. It's a master's class in acting. And it's taught me a lot more than I've learned being on stage, doing stage acting for many years. And getting a chance to do this, I've done a couple other films afterwards and another television project, which I cannot talk about yet. Stay tuned.
But it's not a reality show. We know that.
That's not a reality show.
Thank God.
Let's take a peek at one of the and it was Chrissy Mentz. It was one of her first big network shows.
Yes,
by the way,
work with Chrissy.
She was only in a few episodes. You were in almost every. Okay, let's watch a little bit of this great scene.
Not the sign of the cross again. No. We will enjoy freaks. Do you know that picture, Richard?
I can't say that I do.
Oh, it's a wonderful picture. Explain the plot to him, Eve and Paul.
Well, the film is set in a traveling circus, a freak show.
Huh. Cleopatra, a normal trapeze artist, marries the sideshow midget. But actually, she's trying to poison him for his inheritance. She plays
Dennis
all the
O'Hare,
freaks
love
for
him.
fools until one day she gets drunk and reveals her true intentions.
Then the freaks turn on her. They take their revenge out at night with knives and guns.
Eve, darling, don't spoil the ending for him.
Well, it sounds like a hit.
Actually, I have to go. So many things to do before we head out west.
Nonsense. Oh, no. You can't leave before your present.
No, I couldn't.
Shut up and sit down. You deserve this.
What's gotten into you?
Come on, Richard. Open it.
I thought about you long and hard when I make this.
All right, so that's just a little reveal. If you haven't seen this season, you have to watch this season. Our very own Erika is featured in almost every. But that season was very special because it kind of shifted from the rest of the other seasons. And like you said, it was showing that a freak show was a family first. But the acting in that season was just so intense.
That is an intense show.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm very humbled by that experience. I'm very grateful for it. I'm grateful for the lesson it was. Not only it helped me appreciate people who were born physically different, and
It's beautiful.
It's broadened my view to people who've been marginalized because of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your advocacy and thank you for that season, by the way.
And
yeah.
I'll just say really quick too. I like that. That's what you. And I kind of have to override the audience there. I like how that's what you pulled from that experience, not the fact, oh, I worked with these amazing actors. The fact
I know
that
some
you
American
took,
Horror Story actors who have done,
exactly right. But
Like-
I love that that's the experience that you pulled from it. You know what I'm saying? And the realization it made. So that I just want to say I really admire you for that.
So I want to talk about genre acting, and Jake, you have mastered this to a T. Starship Troopers is still watched by every generation coming through. And I remember when that movie came out, people were like, what the hell? In fact, Scott, you'll love this. You don't know, Rue McClanahan had a really small part in Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
She was the classroom teacher.
Do you have a relationship with her?
I mean, he's actually implying B. Arthur, McClanahan, next Betty White, then Estelle
Because you
Getty.
love the Golden Girls.
We all love the Golden Girls. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
who doesn't love
Golden
the Golden Girls?
I had a drunken afternoon with Rue McClanahan, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it was interesting. But for Starship Troopers, I want to know what happened when you got the script because it was such a different genre. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek. It had a huge element of comedy, and then it's this huge sci-fi story.
Okay. All right. Should I pop his bubble? Should I
Pop
burst
the
his
bubble.
balloon?
Go for the
really?
jugular.
Should I
Straight
do
for it.
this? Because I mean, it's gonna just pour out.
It's
Oh,
gonna
my
ooze. Is it gonna
God.
ooze?
Yeah.
All right, all
yeah.
right.
It's gonna
What?
pour
Stand
out.
back when it gets something on us.
Yeah. Right. We don't want any Alexander
you.
oozing on us. No, I'm gonna pop your balloon.
Let's go
Look,
on a bug
No.
hunt.
We.
Scott, gotta have a drink
Maybe-
before this one.
Yeah, right? Take a big sip. We didn't know that it was campy. We didn't know that it was a big satirical farce. It was, Paul Verhoeven making a comment on communism versus this, Stalinism thing and this whole, like, he was really taking these ideologies that he saw as a child in the Netherlands and during World War II. And so he made this movie that no one got at the time. Nobody understood that.
Yeah.
And when we were making it, we were like, hey, we're doing the next Star Wars. This is cool. Right. We had no idea it was going to be so clean, shot at a 25 ASA and everything just perfectly in focus and shiny. We thought it was going to be...
You guys were very hot. Olive from Denise Richards.
Yeah. And that was part of his thing was like to make it farcical and make it like this giant satire was to make all of these soldiers ridiculously good looking, and I don't know how I wound up in this group of them.
Please,
The shower
that
scene
shower
was
look,
the best.
Thank you.
The
yes.
shower scene.
Do we
Mr.
have
that was
Jake
a good one.
Busey.
Do we have a picture of it?
was-
Can we get the shower scene?
That
Where's
was-
the scene, Chris? Do we have the scene?
No, we actually do have a picture.
It's
of
not
the
on
shower
deck.
scene, yeah.
They were threatening to shoot that scene every day until the end of the film, and we were like, we can't wait till they shoot the shower scene so we can eat pizza, right? And so they forced us to stay on our diets for almost a year, of this living this perfection sort of 5% body fat and exactly your optimal peak weight and all this stuff, but it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was fantastic. I'm still friends with all the people in the film.
Well, we also
It
have a
was
picture
very
of your
bonding.
There it is.
kind of recent reunion. You guys look amazing, by the way.
I'm too blind to see this little tiny picture that you're showing.
Yeah, no.
But we did do the 20-year reunion.
There we go. Yeah.
over
Look
in
at this
Burbank.
reunion picture.
And it was Casper and Patrick and I took a shot together.
This is
And a photo.
Denise and Patrick. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
You guys look like you guys just walked off the set. Like it's
Yeah, crazy, right?
Crazy.
Look at that. Yeah, there we are.
Just put the live feed on my iPad. You can
That's
watch it
20
here.
years
But
later.
it'll have an,
digging it.
echo.
Yeah.
Sounds off. I should have
So, no, and I those two people right there, I love those people. They are the best. And so is Casper, and so is Dina, and the gang. It's just a really, something about that film really brought us together. And it was maybe because, when you go through a trauma together, you tend to bond with people, like a plane crash or
course.
something.
Yeah.
And that film, the boot camp and the military aspect of it, we took it so seriously. We thought we were soldiers. And Captain Dale Dye, who he does all the military technical advising for basically any war film you've seen in the past 25, 30 years. He gets the actors to feel that they are in a troop. The first time I met him, I was 17, and my dad was doing a film that Marty Sheen was directing. Charlie was in it. And it was a Vietnam thing, and my dad played this boot camp sergeant, and I was just a kid. I flew up to Vancouver with Charlie, and we were sitting this is so long ago, we were sitting in first class in the smoking section. And
that is a long time ago.
And Charlie and I were on one side of the plane, and across the aisle from us was Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee, and they were on the way to Vancouver to go mix Dr. Feelgood.
Wow.
And I was listening to this Jimmy Page solo album, and Tommy's like all just like hyped up. He's like, "Hey, what are you listening to? What are you listening to, dude?" And I'm like this high school kid. I was like, Jimmy Page. He's, "Oh fuck, let me hear it." So I'm like the whole flight. He's got my headphones on with the wire going across the aisle, and stewardess keeps flight attendant keeps walking by, like tripping on it and smoking cigarettes, and Charlie's over there reading his porn. It was great. It was hilarious. And so I met Captain Dale Dye at that point. I got to the set, and Marty Sheen tells me, he says, "You know what? You got to go to the wardrobe department, get a military outfit, so that when you go to the set, when you're on the military barracks on the field, and when you're on the compound, you don't stand out." He likes everyone. He wants to make it like you're really in Vietnam. So I did, and as all the actors that were cast in the film were jogging by, Lawrence Fishburne and a bunch of guys.
This is your life, though. Like, this is just the language that you speak. It's so crazy to me.
And,
that's so crazy to me.
So Captain Dye was, he said, "Fall in, soldier, get in the back. What are you doing there with your dick scanners in your pockets? Get in line." So I jogged 5 miles with him, and that was the first time I met him. And so when we did Starship Troopers, which was about 8 or 9 years later, it was a great reunion with Captain Dye. But no, Starship Troopers was that was a life-changing experience, and I'll never forget it. Yeah, that's for sure.
It was funny because your performance was very fresh, and it just fit the ensemble so well. But I want to talk about another film that I got a number of emails for, which is The Frighteners.
Ah, yes.
The Frighteners, you guys, is one of my favorite movies. I have the movie poster, no kidding, in my apartment.
Wonderful film.
It's such a wonderful film, but in my estimation, it's never talked about as the funny horror film, or it got less attention than I think that film deserved. That film was amazing.
If it was released today, it would just kill it.
You are so right. The themes, the acting, everything. Michael J. Fox was an amazing hero for that film.
Yeah.
And of course, who played your love interest was Dee Wallace, who played the mom in E.T., who's such a great actress. I wish she would act more and more.
Yeah. She does a lot of genre shows herself.
She has a show here at UBN.
Nice.
By the way.
I love her. She's so amazing.
But I want to talk about The Frighteners because you did a lot of your stuff had to be either on green screen because you played a ghost for pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, they did. It was blue back then, but I spent. It was interesting. We spent a couple months shooting the film. I think overall it was about a year, but my stuff was about a couple of months with Dee and Trini. All the exterior stuff and all the different various things, and even inside the house. And then what they would do is when they would film it, they filmed it with a dolly that was connected to a computer, and so that it recorded what the camera operator did. And then a month later, we went to the blue screen stage, and all the other actors were gone. It was just me on the blue screen stage with a silver floor and blue walls. No reference points whatsoever. I was like, "Don't you guys have little stands with marks of tape and everything's blue?" And they're like, "No." nothing.
This is before like what's happening nowadays, where it's all like with the dots on the
Yeah,
face.
none of that. And so it was just me on a stage alone, and then this camera track laid out, and then the camera remembered what we shot when we were like in the house in the living room, you know, and I swiped
we're gonna
my
watch
hand through her face and all that.
Yeah.
So then I had to go do it, and I had to lead the camera. So my timing had to be spot on for each place I was, and it was a month ago that I had to a month ago I was here on this thing, and
with the acting either, and because your character was so all over the place, but it was so focused, that must have been a nightmare.
It was fun, but it took a lot out of me. In fact, my girlfriend at the time said she didn't want to. She was like afraid of me when I get home from work.
Well, your character was very, very menacing, but I'm telling you, if you have not seen The Frighteners, you need to watch it. It's number one, it's fun, but it's scary.
Yeah.
And it was just so different, and you're right. If it was released today, it would be a huge hit.
Yeah.
I want to watch one of my favorite scenes. It's with you and Dee. You and Dee had such great chemistry without, us physically seeing you guys together physically until the end. Let's take a little look at Frighteners.
It got a little dangerous.
Why has he come? Am I being punished?
Patricia, please, let's...
I want to kill her now, Patty. That'll give us 41. That's 8 clear Casey. Another 9 with a broken Bundy's record. I can't wait to see old Ted's face when he hears the news.
Yes.
What?
I'm sorry. We really should wait for Mother.
That asswipe psychic nearly ruined it for us tonight, Patty. He made us look stupid.
You're gonna be okay, Patricia. Everything's gonna be all right.
Now shut up. That Russian cannibal creep's running around saying he did 50 plus. That reflects badly on the both of us, Patty. This record should be held by an American.
I quite agree.
You can come
What's she doing?
stay with me if you like.
I want to kill her now, baby.
You guys had such great chemistry, though.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. It was energetic. It was... I liked it.
Did you guys shoot that separately?
We did it together, and then we did it separately. Yeah.
Patronizing do-gooder, bitch.
Oh, Patricia.
You guys just have to see the film, and that's like when it comes together. It, like the end is so great, and it's.
Who hasn't seen that film though? Like seriously,
I know a lot of people that haven't, but
Are
once
you
you
kidding?
see it, then they're diehard fans. Jake,
It's really it's such a trip because like I remember yesterday like making the movie, and then I hear you guys talk about having seen it and hasn't everyone seen it. It's like wild to me because it was like just us, our little crew in New Zealand making this little film.
Wow.
You know.
New Zealand.
So good. So from there, I want to take a look. We have another clip. We have a movie trailer from Dead Ant. And so I wanted to show, when we talk about genre and humor, number one, I thought it was Bret Michaels, by the way. I
Nice.
swear to God.
That was our intent.
But this is your acting, is that you take every role 100% where you envelop the role. One of the actor questions we got a lot of was how you approach a script. So let's talk about how you approach a script after we watch this trailer. But this encapsulates what I'm talking about, that humor horror genre.
Okay.
And you can talk us through it too.
All right, so yeah, this girl ate the wrong coyote.
Okay, sure, yeah, whatever. We need to be current. What
So-
we need is a hard rockin' hit, man.
We're
Look at all these new
glam-
bands now. They don't
there's
have
our very own.
pyrotechnics.
Was that Bret
There are
Michaels?
sparks flying on the stage.
That's
It's
Jake
all
Busey.
tame. We need to go to Coachella and rock.
Yes, yes. And I agree 100%.
You look so good.
By the way, it's called No Cello.
That's Tom Arnold, by the way. No cello.
I couldn't get us into Coachella.
All right, let's kill her song. You got it?
I think this is the stuff that inspired Kurt Cobain.
This is the most powerful peyote you and your friend will ever take.
Feeling anything?
Okay.
So now it's like a fun road trip, rock,
We're on
drugs.
a spiritual quest here. We are this close.
Yeah, it's basically it's Spinal Tap and Starship Troopers combined
There are risks.
with a road
You
trip.
as much as hurt one fly. You'll be cursed until the next
This
summer.
is the genre change.
Yeah, Ron, the director, he's become a good friend, and he's talented. Look out!
Giant ants.
So one of the things that
I'm in the music industry.
one of the things
That
Ron
happens every day in rock and roll.
spoke about was Shaun of the Dead.
Love Shaun of the Dead. Such a smart film.
Yeah, so that was part of his inspiration.
That looks fun.
And it takes everyday stories and movies that we want to see. We want to see a rock show movie, and now it's this horror film.
Yeah, and then we blow up the ants with the sonic frequency of our.
Yes.
It's a hilarious movie.
This is the perfect example of mixing genres.
He did it very well. He did it very well, and we're in distribution talks right now. So it looks like we've got a sequel that we're going to be doing.
That looks fun. That looks fun.
Can I die from an ant?
Has that gone? Has that gone to?
We'll make it like an Indiegogo.
Right there, you go.
Has it gone to festival yet?
Yeah, we won Best Horror Comedy at the LA Screamfest Festival and
Good job.
Telluride, and so that was cool. We got the plaques and trophies and all that. So
It looks very well produced. Looks shot very well too.
Yeah, I think they did a really great job.
Looks
Ron
good.
and his buddy Mark, they've done a couple of other films, but I think this is the biggest one, and definitely with the biggest cast as far as like Tom Arnold and Sean Astin and all this stuff. Like Sean
Astin's been on the show.
He's like number 40 on IMDb. The dude's like he's huge right now. But
he's an interesting person. He's
Stranger
very
Things, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we got this question so many different times in different ways from other actors that are struggling in a certain genre that have studied acting, and they want to know how you approach a script, whether it be for Dead Ant, whether it be for Starship Troopers, or whether it be for something a little bit more serious and rooted in.
Well, I think
real life.
for whatever the character is that I'm gonna play, I really take the character as a human being and a person, and I figure out what it is that drives that character and what that character wants within the story, and what the character's background was and how that character grew up, and make that backstory for that character. And oftentimes for me, I gotta say, it's the writing that the words direct me in a way that like a song, and it sort of sings to me, and I go, oh, this has a lilt to it. This has a gait that goes a little faster here, a little slower there. Oh, so this type of this person speaks like this. This person, okay, so this is how it's written. Now I understand a little more about the character, and then I add to it. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, I actually brought a friend of mine with me every day to that film, Dead Ant, and my biggest thing was I don't want you to see Jake Busey ever.
Well,
and
yeah,
there's a pretty good chameleon
so,
role. Yeah.
So that's kind of like I think my goal really is to leave myself behind as much as I can, and not bring myself to the role.
So basically, what you're saying is that you approach everything as an actor. It's still the process of character motivation, telling the story. So it doesn't matter what genre you are. It doesn't matter what the budget of the film is. You still have to approach it as an actor.
I suppose. And then I guess my own unique thing might be, which I'm finding out through other people's like asking me these questions.
Sure, yeah.
I think I always look for humor in life, and I always look for where can I get a laugh on this,
You know, it's your interpretation of the character, though, so it's still you. I
Yeah.
know you're not being Jake, but
it's funny.
It's still your interpretation of the
But
character.
it's like
so
right.
It's still you.
Jessica Lange, she has
Right.
her traits. She has her things that she does, and you love her for that. Meryl Streep is the same. Now she's such an overblown persona.
Right.
We'll never think of the character she's playing. We're always going to think of Meryl Streep. But Jake, in every one of your performances, like he said, I see a little Jake, and I love it.
Ah, well, that's
because
cool.
of that.
And I guess those are the things that you can't help. Because you just are. You're you.
You're still
you
creating
know?
it. You're still being the mastermind behind the character. So
Right.
you're still gonna
It's
have you.
a
I, think
smile.
I want to see you in the role or the actor in that role. I want to see that they're the one performing it. Like you
Right.
said, you're pretending like you're not pretending.
Right.
I want
yeah.
to see that you're pretending because that makes the performance even more either enjoyable or more comedic.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Totally. In my earlier days, I remember my like acting classes when I was just trying to figure out what I was doing.
Yeah.
I remember imagining that I was, and someone did this in a movie once actually, but I remember imagining that I was like this little guy sitting on a chair inside of my head that was like a vacant room. But I was like in there, controlling like with the joysticks, controlling the whole body of the outside, what the audience saw. And I don't know, that long ago left, but that was one of my earlier things, was sort of imagining that I was sort of, I think one of the things that actors can, a trap that actors can fall into is forgetting physicality with stuff, especially when you do a lot of TV that's just a lot of talking heads, especially now that a lot of stuff is shot for the phone and little screens and it's a lot of close-ups. But really remembering that your whole body is part of your emotion, and how you sit and what you do is really part of it, and using your whole body. And I think that takes a performance really to a level that a lot of like people that are starting out can forget at times.
Do you think people think too much about it and that cause it to backfire where they don't do enough with their body because they might be thinking, do I move? And so they become more stiff?
Yeah, overthinking.
Because, right now I'm using my hands, but I'm not thinking about it. So I think that maybe today's actors, they might think too much about that because everything's so produced now. Even it's just so produced. They're thinking, do I do the right angle? So I think, do you think it's possible they might be overthinking it now?
I think it is, but then at the same time, like I was watching an episode of one of my favorite shows. It's a new show last night. I was watching it and I noticed that it's two people and they're smoking a blunt in the scene, and
that's me and Erika, by the way.
Right.
I was like, that was a live cam that you saw.
Is that what it was? Okay, well now it makes sense. No, but it's hard because you've got to match exactly what you did the other time for the camera when you start editing, and I was watching their editing for the performance. Right. But then the joint is freaking all over the place in the scene.
But how can you be in the moment when you're thinking about that?
Exactly. That's the craft.
It's so technical.
Yeah.
That's
it's like the scene in The Shining when she's smoking that cigarette, the ash. You remember that scene?
Oh, yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't edit that out.
Yeah.
You remember that scene when she's singing?
Yeah.
The ash is like.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember. Whenever he says yeah, he has no clue.
No, are you kidding? That's one of my favorite movies. But in keeping with your persona in every character, Z, I got this email a lot too. Can we just play a little snippet of you at the red carpet at the Billboard Awards? Oh my God! Because the shouts are just, and it's. Z. This is you at the Billboard.
Yeah.
Can we see those?
With my cage dress.
Wow! Look at that.
So that's just a glimpse. You can see a lot of her red carpets.
Holy smokes.
So the question we got, and this goes into terms of how much do you put yourself in the character is...
That's cool.
The question we got is, does your fashion ever overcome who you are? And in your music videos, who is your character?
Good question. Well, two questions. No, never overcomes, because it is who I am. I'm always part of the process to create the... piece,
nice.
The vision.
That's very avant-garde, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know. I can't believe people give you a lashback for that.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It is. It
Jealousy.
was my cage dress, very heavy. I had to carry it all along the carpet. And the second question was, what is my character in my videos? It depends. Like Strangers in the Night, I was the madame of the establishment, so I was the power pimp. And Sweet Dreams, I was playing two characters. In Sweet Dreams, the one that you love, where I am the girl who wants to become this big superstar and I have to sign my life off. And then I'm the woman who became that star, and then I take off my wig and, my headpiece, and I'm looking at myself and thinking, I like where I am, but how did I get here? And just thinking about everything in the past. Every video is a different character. Absolutely.
So I guess the bigger question is what is your approach when you come with a new video? Do you storyboard it? Do you come up with the concept? How do we see this final result?
Well, it depends on the song. Sweet Dreams, I had the pride and the honor to be able to redo that song. And the video was based off the lyrics. You know, we talked about, you know, it's good to go against the grain when you're doing your videos, you know, do something different than the lyrics are, you know, shock people. But I kind of like staying in the theme, you know, and just making that concept more interesting. So
Well,
yeah,
your
I don't like- I don't
your
like-
interpretation of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
My
man.
interpretation.
I saw this episode of White Famous with the video and Michael Rappaport and get those man slaves and yeah.
So yeah, you know, it depends on the lyrics, what the lyrics are talking about. You know, we try to portray that, and visuals help. Videos, everything. I think it's very strong. One of the strongest parts of a song. Everybody's waiting for the video.
What
to
do you
see.
think now when people say videos are dead now? What do you think? People can say, "Oh, music videos dead."
Oh my
what do you think
God.
about that?
I have
People
not even
will go
heard.
look at the video.
Videos kill the radio.
Absolutely, I've never even heard of that. That's the
There's
new
a song
thing.
about that,
Seriously,
isn't
there's so much. You know,
I
it's
love you,
all about
Jake Busey.
perception.
Oh
But
my God.
people have been saying we actually had someone there was someone on the show that says, "Oh, no one watches music videos anymore." I'm
That's
like,
bullshit.
What?
They don't watch it on TV, but they're going to go seek it out, and they're going to watch
Yes.
That's
about
what-
a
that's-
minute of it. Then they're going to
that's
log
what
off,
I-
and they're gonna
that's
come
what I
back to
said.
it,
Yeah,
and then-
MTV's
That's what I
changed.
said.
I mean, it's
Right.
not
They still
MTV
have-
anymore.
do they
Jersey
still have
Shore is having a
Palladio?
reunion, you guys.
I think
Oh,
me
really?
personally,
Yeah.
but me personally, I think videos are very important
Absolutely.
because I want to see your interpretation of the song. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, I'm going to hear it and interpret it my own way. I
Yes.
want to see how you're visually going to express it
Yeah.
to me. So to me, videos are very important.
But music videos
I
have
agree.
become.
Is Palladia still around? Palladia was MTV's. Like,
was a
they
drag
started
queen
playing
in-
videos.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. I remember
Remember?
Palladia. I remember
I thought it was
that.
a drag
Had,
queen
like-
in the early 90s.
Yeah, no.
Then they
no,
had
not them.
MTV2, and because
Yeah, it
MTV1
was-
wasn't good
That's
enough.
epic.
And they played a lot of live stuff.
Yeah,
But then they played videos
I
like her
love
stuff.
Palladia.
It was great.
yeah, I
right?
love
I
Palladia.
don't remember
Yeah.
Palladio.
Here's my thing about music videos: is
The butterfly.
if the content is good, like
Yes.
Scott, your music is so meaty and so good, and you. But
That's
you're,
what she said.
Hey,
But,
but you're,
that was awesome.
He
That
got
was
it.
on point.
he has never done that for
Loaded.
me, by the way.
Cocked and loaded.
He is showing his favoritism. But your videos are very simple. It's you and a background. I think music videos may be restricting to musicians who have great content that can't do a lot of production value. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so maybe that's a
Well,
little.
I mean, sometimes I do that because I'm just becoming the public artist, obviously. So like I do some of the produce stuff, but I also like doing a video which is me singing while I'm recording the track, because I want people to see what I'm doing. So
It's
this
the content.
Yeah, so I'm gonna record myself while I'm actually recording the song. So I like showing that the vulnerability aspect, so people get to know me because I'm not
That's
all
just the
personal.
authentic, true
Yeah.
reality. Of
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
great.
So-
That's
See, you still have so much mystique behind you because we really don't know a lot about who you are. One of the things I've been asked is, like, what is your daily schedule? And then we have to wrap up.
It depends. You know, I always have
In
to
reality, not like
Right, not-
literally.
not
What time of
performance.
day do you wake up?
It always, you know what? Lately, the past year has been around 9 a.m. because I go to sleep at around 5 a.m.
Wow.
4:30 a.m.
smokes.
We work.
Girl,
really
we need to
late.
hang out. But if we
I
hang
know.
out, it's going to be on the news.
Oh yeah.
We're
I
kidding.
expose
Or
all
in a
my
back
friends.
alley
It's-
somewhere.
I expose all my friends. They're like, "Oh my god, we hung out with Z. It's everywhere. We're a mess." Yeah, I always have to start with meditation because my days are crazy. They're packed with this thing to do, then training, and I have to meditate no matter what. That's the first thing I have to do. Performance days, I have to do the raw eggs. That's the first thing, the 2 raw eggs to coat
What?
the vocal cords. Yeah, it's
I thought that was a
nasty.
Liza Minnelli hangover here in
Really?
Cabaret. She
I didn't know
drinks
Is
the raw
it?
eggs, yes.
I
In
should have
Cabaret the
had
movie.
that last
Rocky.
Sunday
You-
after
you actually
WeHo
drink 2
Fun
raw
Day
eggs is what
Sunday.
he's saying.
Girl. You do WeHo Sunday Fun Day?
Yeah, I did Sunday Fun
Oh
Day last
no,
week.
he's getting there, Alexander.
We're gonna.
That's a music video.
We better wrap
I
up soon.
know.
Alexander's had his
Jake
drink.
Busey's going to be behind us. This is not motocrossing.
Yeah, but it's always different. I train. I used to train every day. Now I train 3 days a week, and we do recordings. We're working on a lot of new songs. We're working on 3 new projects. So it depends. You know, studios.
You say
creating-
train, you mean like vocal training, not physical training.
Physical training.
Oh, physical
now.
training. Okay,
Physical training.
awesome. Yeah.
Vocals, I don't do every day. I used to do every day for a few years. Now it's in place.
Sure, you don't
well
need
oiled.
it, right.
You don't need it if you're just gonna
Right.
not gonna sing. You know, performance days
Right.
absolutely.
It's like working
Rehearsal
out
days.
too. I
Yeah.
started 6 days a week, and then I'm now 3 days a week.
Totally.
out of
I was
week.
at 7 days a week.
Yeah. So it's
Once.
it's always different. You know.
Oh Jesus Christ! That
Whoa.
scared the hell out of me.
We gotta fire the drummer.
But that was good though.
Scared the Jesus.
Lord, that made me a Christian.
Well, it's good to
beam
know.
from the
But
sky.
like, what do you do? Name me one normal thing that you do on a daily basis that's normal.
I am
Be
normal.
honest.
I am
Z-la-la.
normal. I am normal.
She does.
What is
You guys-
normal?
I want you
What
guys
is
to know.
normal?
I want you
Okay.
guys to
You
know.
can't see- she seems so
Wait a
down to
minute.
earth.
Her legal name is Z-Lala. Like it's not. That's your name.
But that's
That is my
great.
name.
But she's so down to earth. I
Okay.
mean, she's so.
So my birth name was Tanya Meridian, but it's been legally changed to Zilala for 8 years.
Good.
And it's funny because I had to something normal. If you want to hear something normal, I was trying to MoneyGram to Vietnam. And
Yeah,
they
that's
told-
normal. I MoneyGram to Vietnam.
Wait,
all the
I
time.
do that a couple times
To the
a week.
Nigerian princesses? What do you?
My boyfriend
That's a
Coco
scam
down
there.
Yeah.
So, they told me we can't send the money because your first name is Z. I said, excuse me, what? They said, you can't have just one initial for your first name. I said, but it's legal. I could show you the documents.
Cher does
so-
the same thing when she has to wire money to Vietnam.
Right.
You can't just have one name. What's the last name?
That's
Cher.
good.
You're
That's
sharing
exactly
too much.
what I did. I said Z-la-la-la-la. So I used my first and last name as the first,
first name and the
it
last
worked,
name and the last name.
and it went through.
But your Twitter is Z-la-la-la-la.
Z-la-la.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Z-la-la,
somebody
Z-la-la.
took Z-la-la, which they verified it. So
That's sexy.
All right, we just have literally moments, and you guys are all doing our rapid fire 5, by the way. But real fast, Erika, you and I are going to be Sunday in Palm Springs, Sanctuary. It's an LGBT foster home. What I love this idea. Not to say that the youth don't need our help, but this is transitional living for older kids. That for the very young people. There's the Los Angeles LGBT Center, but this foster home is a little different. Can you talk
Yeah, it's
about
about
Sanctuary?
18 to 21. It's post high school, and those kids that are thrown away from their parents wind up in foster care. They're most at risk because if they're ever outed, they also end up being homeless. And 63% of these kids that don't find homes, that are failure rates, that are on the streets, that are hooking, that are doing drugs or dead, that's 63% of the kids that don't find a home. And the Sanctuary Palm Springs actually offers, and they have rooms available, by the way. Wow. sanctuarypalmsprings.org. And we'll be out there Sunday, okay, at Spencer's. Make sure you're there. And
With Joanna Cassidy, by the way, from
So
Blade
impressive.
Runner, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 6 Feet Under. But it's for such a great cause. And
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That is.
That's so fantastic.
20, 30 years down the road, people look back and say, "What's wrong with those people?" Like I know we're going to solve these problems that we have. So at least when I look in the future, I'm like, they're going to be looking back. They're going to solve it. We're not. This isn't going to continue.
Well, they give them life skills. They get them from high school.
Because when
from
I came
college,
out
and
at my
trade
age,
schools, yes.
when I came out at my age, it was not easy. I mean, and so like
Well, and
there
at 18,
still is a
there's-
difference though. But
And 18, there's not some magical wand that now you're an adult and you're okay.
Right.
And society's going to,
Exactly.
sometimes you need a little help.
Exactly.
Especially if these kids have been on the street for as long as they have been.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Palm
thank you.
Springs Sanctuary.org. We're going to be there Sunday with Joanna Cassidy. Having fun, but raising money for a great cause.
Yes.
All right, you guys, we have to end the show. So real fast, we're going to do rapid fire 5. You have to answer every question. They're just fun. Who wants to go first?
Erika.
I'll go first. Go for it.
Erika, your dream co-star.
Ooh, Brad Garrett.
What? I have never in my life. Brad Garrett from who? Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yes. He's tall. He's a comedian.
He's funny as hell.
I
and he's
see.
funny.
So
in terms
funny.
of the
He's
height.
very tall.
He's so funny.
Romantic comedy.
Women love a funny guy. He is a funny dude.
He's
Let
very
me tell
funny.
you. I've seen him stand up.
You guys should do Private Lives by Noel Coward. Movie you've seen more than 10 times.
Ooh, that's a good question. Can't be porn, right? Okay.
Yes.
I liked. Oh my God, I've watched Braveheart probably more than twice. There's a bunch of my Star Wars, all the Star Wars, the old ones. I've watched them more than.
Braveheart, I've never heard that. That's
Braveheart is amazing.
I love you, Erika, because you're just...
That was back in the day when I was in Dungeons and... How many people here play Dungeons and Dragons? That's what I did when I was a little
I
kid.
have a T-shirt that says "Sex, Drugs, Dungeons and Dragons."
There you go. The
Let me
role
tell
play
you, those
RPG players
Dungeons
in
and
the house.
Dragons
Do
nerds
not
are
be proud. You're
beautiful.
RPG people. Thank you.
The D&G gays are beautiful.
Thank you.
Because they
Thank
never
you.
touch sunlight, and they're usually thin because they don't eat. If you're on an island... Yes, and you have 3 personal items, not like water, food, whatever. 3 personal items.
like dildos, stuff like that.
Three personal items.
Yeah, not that.
Okay, you want
Give
me
me
to
some
tell you what those
inspiration.
items are?
Yes, yeah.
The personal items. Okay, a satellite GPS locator.
No, that's logical. I mean, like your person, like you have to
Like Spunk Loop.
No.
Spunk Loop. Okay, an axe. Oh God, a fire. You're kidding. I would need
not practical. Like
sunscreen.
personal.
I need sunscreen.
No, like personal. Like
personal.
My
She's
stuffed
saying this
animal.
is
My
but that's
Oh, my journal. I need my journal.
Great.
I need my yoga mat. I'll use
On
that.
an island, yeah.
I'll use my yoga mat. And something really ridiculous. Oh God.
Just take it, Alexander. Let's take it.
I can't think of something here. Oh my God, something personal that I have.
A family album.
Not a family album. No.
Vibrator.
What? That's
Yes.
Okay.
See,
vibrator.
when I said it, I got
I still want the
shunned.
6'10" sex. Okay, personal item. The 6'10" robotic sex doll. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Where was
That I
your
want for
worst
Christmas.
date?
Huh?
Where was your worst date?
A Volkswagen Bug.
Oh my God, yes. If you could live in one different era, which
Actually,
one would
mine
it
was a
be?
station wagon.
One different era. Right now, I'd like to be. I would have liked to bet. I'd like to be 16 when I was 36.
Do you know the weirdest
That's
thing?
what I
Do you
I
know the
know.
weirdest thing? I knew she was going to say today.
Wow.
I knew that.
I
That
wanna
is
be
the
right now.
weirdest thing.
Wow.
I in my mind, she's going to say today.
Because the kids have it. I
giving her
mean,
your
kids have
power
it so
spot.
much
That is
easier
so-
transitioning. Oh my God, they're just.
Yeah. Well,
Whee.
because people like you paved the way. Thank you.
Do my best.
Where can our listeners find and follow you?
I'm at Amazon Eve on Twitter or AmazonEve.com is my website.
Twitter.
Zilala.
Oh my God.
You're rapid fire. We got to finish up because Chris he's sweating. Are you
For
ready?
me.
Wow.
I'm playing.
You guys.
That's from me. Sorry.
He's not playing.
Sorry to burst.
He's like, the show can go another hour if you're involved. The most
Chris, we're fighting over
embarrassing, the most embarrassing song on your playlist.
Oh, I thought incident. Embarrassing.
You're thinking too hard.
Nothing's embarrassing. I mean, it's the biggest fan favorite, but I would say Zilala. It's a Zilala song. It's not embarrassing, but I mean, not proud of it.
Promotion
but-
in there. All right. Worst fashion trend that you fell victim to? That you look back and you're like, oh God.
Why'd I do that? Damn, I love all my carpet looks.
No, it doesn't have to be carpet. It could be
Anything.
like
Z Cavaricci's. Remember those?
Damn, I love everything.
I
I've
did
done.
that step haircut. Do you remember that step haircut? I did that. That was
Okay, whenever I started and before I, got a whole team of engineers and designers and I performed at, I think, 11 in WeHo, I had made something out of these space balls and I wore. And I don't know, I was watching it, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah, nothing balls in WeHo.
it's not coming off YouTube.
Balls and WeHo.
You don't.
They
You
go
want to
together.
avoid. Yeah.
Jake
know.
Busey.
You want to avoid it though.
Jake Busey, as a fun night, would you film a webisode of me taking you to WeHo?
I think that would be hilarious.
That'd be kind of fun.
We could
I
take,
would totally
we could take
do
your
that.
wife and she could be like, yes, no, yes. No.
I don't. I don't.
I'll
need
get
to-
hammered with his wife while we.
I don't need
watch.
to have like gay buffering. Give me a camera. I'm going with you.
Yeah, he's not a prude.
I think he's gonna. Kurt
He's
Yeager
cool.
needs to watch out because I have a new straight
cool.
bestie. Okay, your dream duet. Who would it be with?
Oh, Freddie Mercury. That's a dream.
Oh,
Yeah, he's mine.
Yeah.
He's mine. He's
Ah.
mine.
Screw you.
Your
I would-
after music video shoot ritual. The first thing you do, you've done a music video shoot for 8 hours. You come home, and I'm not talking like, oh, I put the keys down because I've heard that response. Like, what is the ritual that you do for yourself?
I already knock out in the car on the way back.
Oh,
I'm
really? Okay.
devastated. It's one day shoots, 3-day shoots, or talk to the lead guy that I just, I'm crazy about right after. It's
You've
like,
shared the screen with many hot guys.
Yeah. Or massage my scalp because of the big headpieces I just had on there and I can't think.
Oh, that's your ritual? Okay.
I woke up one time, we came back and I woke up the next day because my manager called. He's like, you got to get up. We got to go to editing. And I'm like, it's 6 o'clock, but I was devastated. We were on set for 3 days. So sleep. Leave the
Sleep
makeup
is your
on and just
ritual.
rest. I guess.
Wow. Mine is texting people to say sorry. Who is the most overrated singer in your opinion?
Oh, that's so bad. I'm not supposed to.
Okay,
talk.
let's do that.
Here's my answer.
Wait. Let's do this. The most
Which one?
overrated singer who has passed.
Who's
who
passed?
has passed.
That's not cool.
No, there's a
Talking
lot.
poorly of the dead.
I know, overrated dead singer.
This guy talks
Damn,
to dead
that is
people, man.
really
You don't
hard.
They're gonna be
Just because
mad.
he dresses like him. Doesn't.
I can't answer that because I
Okay.
just crush them.
Dresses like him.
But I definitely have people I think that I.
Jake Busey,
Yes.
if you could go back and star in any past film as the lead, and I'm talking from the 20s to the 70s, 80s, what role would you have played?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah.
I totally see you.
That's good.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good.
Indiana Jones. That would be.
Yeah,
it.
man. I love Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford and Denzel Washington are my two favorite.
Harrison
actors.
Ford continues to be the cool guy.
Yeah, he just is. And I
He
always
just saved some woman from her car, by the way.
Like in real life?
Yeah,
Really?
in real life, yeah.
I didn't know.
One of the frustrating things about it is that like I have the ability to act in films, and I have the ability to try and be as cool as him, and it just never happens.
It's on
I
its
think
way.
I think you yeah.
If you could
Be
go
too hard on
back,
yourself.
if you could go back in time and redo any one of your roles, which one would it have been?
Starship Troopers.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is the name of your biography?
My Life with Gary Busey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who would play you in a movie?
That's funny, actually. I loved that. That was awesome. Sorry. 10-second delay.
Yeah. Who would play me in a movie? Shit, man.
P.T. Barnum is being played by Hugh
P.T.
Jackman, by the
Barnum.
way.
Wow. Who would play me? Someone that isn't born yet, I hope.
I like that answer. That's a good answer. That's a clever answer.
Your
actually.
biggest pet peeve. This is my question.
Man, I got a whole bunch of them. Biggest pet peeve.
Loud voices on radio.
No.
Let's just Google this, shall we?
Most of my pet peeves come from driving since I live in LA.
Oh my God, I'm with him,
Yes.
dude.
And I got about 360 of them.
Thank you.
One
Thank
of,
you.
I'd say a big one is folks that don't pull out into the intersection when they're making a left
turn.
Yeah.
That's one of mine too.
Sucks ass. The other one is that being in LA, it's a very me first culture, and so no one will let you in. Nobody lets you in. And I had a guy like yelling at me the other night at Disneyland. I was like, "What are you yelling at?" He's like, "We've been waiting here for an hour. We're not letting you in." I'm like, "I'm just trying to leave the parking lot, bro.
Yeah.
You were at Disneyland all day."
Remember,
Chill.
it's justice, just us.
There you
That's what
go.
it is. There you go.
So yeah, that's my pet peeve. Is let's
You
drive a little bit.
freaking eye roll. Get out of here.
You guys, this has been such a fun show. So many different personalities. Mr. Busey,
Thank
we have
you.
some webisodes to film.
Let's do it.
Thank you to our engineer, Chris. Thank you to our listeners. I love you guys. Sunday, Palm Springs is where it's at.
We will be there.
We'll see you next Tuesday. This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on the Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On the Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday.